Donald Trump's administration will shutter 120 IRS offices. And, I got to tell you, the corporate press is trying to make it sound like a bad thing. And they're saying, but these are going to be places that have assistance centers for people who need help filing their taxes. So it's kind of like the people who's beating you over the head with a sack of quarters offer you assistance and how you get beaten over the head with a sack of quarters. And we're supposed to be sad about it. Please, Democrats, corporate press, keep defending the IRS because I am here for it. We got that story, and we got a couple other weird ones. This one you may have seen the other day. Apple, they've acknowledged that if you used their voice-to-text service when you would say the word racist, it would show Trump, then racist. Now, I bring this one up, even though I know this was the other day the story came out, because there's another story that went viral today. Numerous prominent left-wing organizations, liberal organizations, were sharing AI audio of Donald Trump Jr. And this is exactly what I warned about. It wasn't anything crazy like Don Jr. admitting to breaking the law or doing drugs. It was an AI audio where he said something like, why would we even want to be allies with Ukraine? We should have sent Russia the weapons. And the reason it was clever is that it sounds like an off-the-cuff statement, which is still damaging to one's reputation, but he never said it. Now, all these liberals are deleting en masse, panicking, because they were very seriously defaming the man. But it's only just begun. The AI fake video insanity is upon us, and audio, and we're going to get into all that stuff. We got a lot to talk about. Before we get started, my friends, we got a great sponsor today. It is NetSuite by Oracle. So make sure you check out netsuite.com/Timcast, and they're sponsoring the show. What does the future hold for business? Ask non-experts and you'll get 10 answers. Bull market, bear market, rates will rise or fall. Can someone please invent a crystal ball? Just not the other one, you know what I mean? Until then, over 41,000 businesses have future-proofed their business with NetSuite by Oracle, the #1 cloud ERP, bringing accounting, financial management, inventory, HR into one fluid platform. With one unified business management suite, there's one source of truth, giving you the visibility and control you need to make quick decisions. With real-time insights and forecasting, you're peering into the future with actionable data. When you're closing the books in days, not weeks, you're spending less time looking backwards and more time on what's next. This is why I like NetSuite by Oracle. You should too. Whether your company is earning millions or even hundreds of millions, NetSuite helps you respond to immediate challenges and seize your biggest opportunities. Speaking of opportunity, download the CFO's Guide to AI and Machine Learning at netsuite.com/Timcast. That guide is free to you at netsuite.com/Timcast. One more time, netsuite.com/Timcast. Shout out to Oracle NetSuite for sponsoring the show. We really do appreciate it. And don't forget, castbrew.com is always available. Delicious Cast Brew coffee. Well, unfortunately, Ian's graphene dream is sold out. It should be back in stock in about a week. You can pick up your Appalachian Nights. But I gotta say, just go into the ground coffee section, and we do have Focus with Mr. Bocus. Look at that beautiful little kitty. And then, of course, we have Misty Mountains Costa Rican Blend. We got a bunch of different varieties for you to choose from. You can join the Cast Brew Coffee Club. When you do, you get a discount. It's $40, and you subscribe monthly and save. So definitely check that out. And don't forget, we're going to have that members-only uncensored call-in show at rumble.com/Timcast IRL. So join Rumble Premium using promo code TIM10. And you'll also get access to, let's go to our playlists here, The Green Room, which is our behind-the-scenes show before the show starts. We're having crazy conversations. Today's was particularly nuts because I'm really, really angry about these CBP agents who are facilitating trafficking. And I'm really angry that you've got so many in law enforcement that sat back and have done nothing. And I'm like, Trump, lock them up. You should watch it because I just basically go off. So it's good fun. Don't forget to also smash that like button, subscribe to this channel, share the show with everyone you know, everybody watching, especially if you're watching on Rumble. Take the URL and share it everywhere and tell everybody, you got to watch the show. It's live now. It's a great show. Everyone agrees. At least that's what I've been told. Joining us tonight to talk about this and so much more is Mike Crispi.
Oh, what is going on, Tim? Mike Crispi. It's good to be back. I am a surrogate for President Trump in New Jersey, president of the Italian-American Civil Rights League, and I host the show on Rumble every day. Mike Crispi Unafraid. Great to be back.
Right on. Thanks for coming. Chuck is hanging out. He's here. His debut.
Hello, friends. I just try not to break the show or anything, but I host the Green Room. I also do some of the Gamermade stuff before the Green Room. Really excited to be on the show. Just trying to do my best.
So we brought back the Green Room show, which was our behind the scenes, guests show up, just roll the cameras. And Chuck's always here. And so he ends
Can't
up
get rid of
sitting
me.
there talking with all the guests, and it went pretty well. And we were like, Chuck, you should come on and promote the Green Room show on Rumble Premium. And Chuck went, oh boy, I don't want to lose my job. And then he sat down.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, the green room's great. We talk about a wide range of subjects and stuff. Like today was pretty spicy, pretty fun. I think you guys should check it out. Worth the
Yeah,
watch.
it's uncensored because it's, not so family friendly.
Chuck is a phenomenal conversationalist. Absolutely. So I'm Phil That Remains. I'm Phil Labonte, lead singer of the heavy metal band All That Remains, anti-communist, counter-revolutionary. Let's get started.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen, from the Washington Post. IRS to close more than 110 offices with taxpayer assistance centers. The plan is outlined in a letter from the U.S. General Services Administration that was obtained by the Washington Post. Now, I'm just going to pause real quick. Notice how they have to add that little caveat at the end with taxpayer assistance centers. I don't care. I don't care if they got a Kinko's in them. They're IRS offices. I don't care if they're shut down. Nobody likes the IRS. But the Washington Post needed to add that caveat because they're trying to make the IRS look good.
Yeah. I mean, look, I feel like, I don't want to steal lines from people, but the winning just doesn't stop. I'm not sick of it. I mean, this is because
I'm sorry. It's like Ron Paul must be sitting in a chair being like, "Yep."
I mean, literally 12 months ago, everyone was thinking, oh, there's going to be 87,000 new IRS agents, and man, they're going to be going after everybody. They're going to go after anybody that's made more than $600 for anything. So if you sold something for $1,000, you literally could be on the hook to the IRS for it. Like,
More likely than not.
yeah, and that's honestly, the IRS and the government more broadly should not be in the business of ruining American people's lives. Yeah. This idea that the IRS is some kind of service that people aren't terrified of dealing with is ridiculous. First of all. Second of all, there's people on the left love to make remarks like, well, they're going to go after the millionaires and the billionaires, but they're not going to do any of that. They're going to go after people that make less than $100,000 a year because those people don't have the money to fight to hire an actual lawyer, and that the IRS has admitted that they go after those people because that's actually where the money is.
So they say the Trump administration plans to shutter more than 110 IRS offices that have taxpayer assistance centers. The plan outlined in a Tuesday letter, blah, blah, blah. They're basically saying that when these leases are terminated or not renewed when they expire, their leases terminated or not renewed when they expire, according to a list included in the GSA's letter, it is unclear whether the assistance centers, which provide free in-person help for tax filers on an appointment basis, will relocate or simply close. Do you guys know that H&R Block is free?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think what's the other one? It's H&R Block, HR Block, and the other one is
I should know this. This is a tax account.
you definitely should know that.
The other one, they have TurboTax Online, which is pretty much free.
Yeah.
But
But
the other,
I can't remember.
H&R Block's the big one.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the other one.
But the government isn't helping anybody do anything. All they do is wait for you to file, and then if you don't get it right, they send you a letter saying, we know exactly how much you owed, and now you owe it to us with penalties. So the whole thing,
But they won't tell you how much.
Yeah, but they won't tell you how much you owe when you
Was
file.
it Jackson Hewitt?
Yeah.
Was that
Jackson
it?
Hewitt,
That was a big one.
Yeah, so it's great. It's great.
I just want to mention, they have to provide a free basic service because of the way the law works. So in order to have these private special, interest corporations that do taxes, my understanding, I could be wrong, but the way the lobbying is, they lobby the government to make sure that tax filing is not automated and difficult. That's at least the story. Whatever it may be, you can get free tax assistance from any one of these companies. It's like your basic filing is free, automated software. They're trying to make it seem like Trump shuttering bloat, especially the IRS, is a bad thing. Lord help me, they are paving the way for a blowout in the midterms.
Yeah, they're paving the way for Republicans not to lose in 50 years. Because, what is more popular in polling than paying less taxes and the IRS not having more people to come after you when you owe pennies? You said it really good right there. It's like the people who have money, who have even just a couple $1,000,000, they know how to shelter it and put it into trust and put bank accounts offshore and all that stuff. Regular people, small business owners, those are the ones who the 87,000 IRS agents are trying to screw over and go after. So, I mean, this is amazing.
Just real quick, you guys. I have a list here from Pew. I don't want to see it. We're going to see it. Of the federal agencies that the Pew Research has dug into, it is many. Which agency do you believe has the highest unfavorability, and the lowest favorability?
IRS.
IRS.
Was it even a hard question? Should I have even asked?
Of course not.
Yeah.
Indeed, the National Park Service is the most favorable, and I got to admit, I like those guys.
Yeah, good guys.
And the Post Office, NASA, the CDC actually is largely favorable.
Wait, the post office is favorable?
I mean,
It is. Yeah.
interesting. Yeah.
I know, that's surprising.
You know why? Because your mailman is actually nice, and that's the person that you deal with the most. When you go to the post office, especially like if you're in a smaller town or whatever, like the people that work in my post office are just wonderful people. I love them to death. I mean, so like that's the kind of the deal. People know those people, so they're like, oh, they're fine.
This poll is from last summer too, and it ain't even a contest. The lowest favorability is Department of Education, Department of Justice, and the IRS, and there's not a comparison. Department of Education and Department of Justice are -1 point. IRS is -12. Like, there's no question it is the least popular federal agency, and the media and the Democrats are like, please protect our IRS agents. Dude, midterms are going to come around, and every Republican is going to be like, Donald Trump shut down IRS offices. Who cares why he did? Democrats wanted to keep them open. Who cares why they wanted them open?
They were offering tax assistance centers, though. Don't you realize he's going to make it harder for you to have to pay less?
The only tax assistance I want is less taxes.
Exactly.
You know,
best
exactly.
assistance. But they also offer different like voluntary, like there's this thing called VITA where there's a tax assistance center not associated with the IRS directly, but there's different options out there that you can go and seek and find. So
we should close those too.
those are private.
Ideally, yes. If you get rid of taxes, yeah.
He's gonna shut down the IRS completely, he said, and start the ERS, the External Revenue Service. Okay, get rid of the IRS, start the ERS, no taxes, income-wise, and do tariffs. I think the people are excited about it.
What if this? Like, I mean, it's been a month. What if this literally is Trump's opening salvo to eventually getting rid of the IRS?
Let's go.
I mean, I don't think that you're going to have a significant complaint from the American people.
Nope.
You know, particularly if they can fund the government in other ways, right?
Well,
so they've cut the government enough so that way the money that they need to run the government can be raised in other ways. Most people won't notice and I'm not gonna predict. I'm just gonna say, if most people don't notice a significant change in their life, why would anyone complain?
I got to be honest too. Like, we don't need an IRS.
No.
Even if we keep taxes the way they are, the way it would work is taxes come out of your paycheck automatically, and you never think twice. That we don't need any of this stuff. Just an automated, like, when I pay my electric bill, it's automatic. I don't even think about it. You know what I mean? We don't need to have this bloated federal agency for any of this stuff. But I understand there's criminal enforcement they're going after. But, you know, let's just get rid of the IRS. And here's the thing. Donald Trump announced his gold card. You guys saw the story?
Yeah.
And it's crazy to me that no matter what Trump does, liberals and Democrats and the corporate press can't give him one good day. This was the narrative when they said that ISIS guy was an austere scholar.
Unreal.
I can't remember who said it. They were like, I think it was Nate Silver. He's like, they can't give Trump one good day. That's insane.
Yep.
Like, come on. Obviously, getting rid of these terrorists and cleaning up and winning wars is good. And so Donald Trump now offers up this gold card as compared to the green card, $5 million, and you can get residence in the U.S. Bang, just like that. We already have the EB-5 visa, which functions very similarly, but for a lot less. Trump said, imagine 1 million people, just 1 million, want to buy that. That's $5 trillion. You know, and right to the deficit. Elon pointed out at their cabinet meeting, they're paying $1 trillion on interest. And he's like, this is impossible. We're not making enough money to pay that down. If we don't Doge, then the country is functionally bankrupt. And the main issue is, you know, Ian's always talking about defaulting on the debt and how we should just do it. He's talking about, because if that were to happen, the entire SWIFT payment system, the global economic infrastructure collapses, and you get war very quickly. Mm-hmm. If the U.S. does not Doge and deal with the deficit, and let's just on the deficit is increasing with this budget resolution that just passed, meaning the deficit is how much more we spend than we have. So the debt is going to grow exponentially in this way. We have to get the deficit to zero and then start paying the debt down. If we can't, U.S. bonds and U.S. trade will be worth nothing.
Yep.
Petrodollar will be valueless. And then the OPEC nations and all these other countries trading in oil will stop trading with the United States. The United States ain't going away overnight. It will just be global economic crisis. Doge is not a question of what do we deserve, or should we have it? Doge is a question of what do we have to do to make sure civilization doesn't collapse.
Isn't it crazy they can't give him one win? Like, they don't see that makes them totally discredited on everything. Like, they can't say one semi-nice thing about one thing that he's done. Because at least if they did that, then if they criticize him on other stuff, it'd make him seem a little bit more credible, but just everything's terrible, right? It just ruins their whole thing.
I can easily compliment Joe Biden. You know, he's very good at retaining classified documents for the purpose of making money.
Yeah.
See, it's a compliment.
He's a great businessman in
Yeah.
a sense.
Very smart.
Yeah, very
And he had the wherewithal to hire a ghostwriter who knew to delete evidence of his criminal wrongdoing.
Yep.
Very impressive.
Very smart. Very smart.
That's right. See, a compliment.
I mean, the idea that that there are no ways to cut the deficit, which is exactly what the Democrats are essentially saying. They're saying everything that Doge does, they've got a complaint about it. It's this is wrong, that's bad, blah blah blah. The idea that there's no way to cut government waste, that every dollar is spent, in a responsible manner, it's obvious. That's obviously not true. So even if they don't say nice things about Donald Trump or Doge or whatever, if they just say true things, right? That doesn't have to have any kind of anything about an opinion. Just say true things. We do need to cut our deficit every year is too big. The national debt is absolutely out of hand, and it will bankrupt America, just like all the stuff that Tim laid out just a few minutes ago. We will have an actual World War III if we don't do something about our debt, because all the countries that have bought the U.S. debt, if we default on it, they're gonna be looking for some kind of way to make restitution. These things are real. So granted, it is unpopular with anyone in Congress to talk about Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security, right? Those are unpopular things to bring up because old people vote and old people are the ones that are living on that. But if we don't restructure these things, if we don't do something about them, there will be a default.
I want to just quickly address one super chat from Robert Fulton. It said only 550,000 millionaires in the world and 250,000 are in the U.S., so we will not put a dent in the deficit. Incorrect, good sir. A cursory search shows 58 million millionaires in the world, 1.5% of the global adult population. And 2.8 million are ultra high net worth. 5.1 have an estimated wealth of 5 to 10 million. 28,000 people have wealth over 100 million. In the United States, there's 22 million millionaires. China has about 6 million. The UK has 3, France has 2.9, Japan has 2.8. Certainly, there are plenty of millionaires, and they all want to live here. Trump made a good point, too. He said they are going to come here. Ultra wealthy people want to live and have residency in the United States. Let's simplify it, make it cost some money, and bring them here. EB-5 is convoluted, and I think it's brilliant. Plus, it's so on brand for Trump. I hope when he issues them, you actually you literally get a golden card with like Trump's wavy hair symbol on it and says like residency or something.
It should be solid gold too. Like none of this plated stuff. You have to be real careful with it too because it's soft. So
So we have this story from the other day that I'm going to pull up here from @Amuse on X. The IRS now admits a Democrat activist working for the IRS leaked over 400,000 tax returns. Meanwhile, Democrat NGOs and Democrat-appointed lawyers are suing to prevent federal employees assigned to Doge from accessing taxpayer data. There is no proof that federal employees assigned to Doge would leak the tax returns of hundreds of thousands of Americans like Mr. Littlejohn did. This is a huge story that apparently a guy working for the IRS, who was a Democrat activist, leaked tax returns, including that of Trump. For political reasons, I can only assume. And then they have the nerve to come out and say, the auditors are going to leak like, bro, you did it. Like Democrats did it already. Okay, Doge needs to go in and Trump needs to clean house. I hope they uncover, and I believe they exist. I hope they uncover all of the kink chats that exist at every department, because I guarantee you they probably do. These people are depraved. You're going to find them and they got to get fired.
Well, I mean, the fact that these people consider themselves, to be members of the LGBTQ community or whatever, and that is something that the government was hiring for. They were looking for people that were members of the LGBTQ community to hire them because they wanted to make sure that people were represented. Well, there is a phenomenon with a plurality, I won't say majority, but a plurality of the LGBTQ community is full on disgusting deviance. Right now, again, I'm not saying the majority, but a plurality. And clearly, the government has picked up a few of them because they're talking about absolutely disgusting behaviors. There were discussions.
Well, the important thing about those chats is that the most egregious of them can't be said. It was funny. I was watching The Five earlier.
Yeah.
And Jesse Waters read some of the chats, and then he goes, I wanted to read more, but my producer said, Jesse, you can't say those things. And I was like, we said the same thing on IRL last night. There were things in there that are so shocking to the moral, to any decent moral person, and to the dignity of humans in general, they cannot be spoken in public.
And these are the decent moral people that the Democrats have protests over if we want to lay off any of them, right? Those are the ones they're protecting, like the most degenerate of the degenerate.
I was going to say,
and you know,
degeneracy.
You know what's funny is like there was an ad that came out a couple of years ago for the CIA, and it was a CIA recruitment ad, and it was like about this woman, this black woman, and she like was rattling off all the disorders that she had, like personality, schizophrenia, all this, and I'm like, it's like they're trying to get these kind of people. Like they're actively trying to get the most mentally disturbed, depraved, and degenerate people into this group. Why are they actively trying to get them? Right? It's kind of weird.
That's the thing. Look, man, what you do in your private life is fine, but any company, if they saw that this stuff was being discussed in a company channel on company time, you would get fired. Yes. They would clean house. They would be like, this is unacceptable to discuss at work.
Wildly inappropriate.
They deleted it. The video's been deleted. Let me. It's on YouTube. It's been made private. On X, it's been deleted. I'm gonna see if I can still find it. It's a video where CIA was recruiting intersectional women of color who suffered from mental disorders.
Yes.
I'm not kidding. That's the story.
That's a crazy person you want as a spy, right? CIA as a spies, or
they are the spies. And they were going for it. They wanted those people. You found it?
No, I found something crazier from last month.
Okay, here we go.
This is like the end stages of the Biden regime.
CIA operative reveals mental disorder agency actively seeks to hire because it makes for better spies.
Yeah.
They got different personalities, so
they seek to hire sociopaths.
Yeah, because they get to be like best of both worlds. Be like, no, I'm this person today, this person another day.
What could go wrong when they decide to be somebody else and give all of our information away because they don't like Trump anymore, right? I mean, it's just good strategy. Yeah. Smart people at the top.
Wait, is this the video? Woke CIA recruitment video? I think I found it. Is that it? It might be it.
But like we were saying,
let's play it anyway. Here we go.
I think this is it.
Okay.
When I was 17, I quoted Zora Neale Hurston's How It Feels to Be Colored Me in my college application essay. The line that spoke to me stated simply, I am not tragically colored. There is no sorrow dammed up in my soul nor lurking behind my eyes. I do not mind at all. At 17, I had no idea what life would bring, but Zora's sentiment articulated so beautifully how I felt as a daughter of immigrants then and now. Nothing about me was or is tragic. I am perfectly made. I can wax eloquent on complex legal issues in English while also belting Guayaquil de mis amores in Spanish. Oh, boy. I can change a diaper with one hand and console a crying toddler with the other. I am a woman of color. I am a mom. I am a cisgender millennial who's been diagnosed with generalized anxiety disorder. I am intersectional, but my existence is not a box-checking exercise. I am a walking declaration, a woman whose inflection does not rise at the end of her sentences, suggesting that a question has been asked. I did not sneak into CIA. My employment was not and is not the result of a fluke or slip through the cracks. I earned my way in, and I earned my way up the ranks of this organization. I am educated, qualified, and competent, and sometimes I struggle. I struggle feeling like I could do more, be more to my two sons.
Okay, we get it. I want to go back to this right here. I'm just loving her all happy with Brennan. Yeah, they're all fired. Didn't he get his security? He got his clearance revoked, right?
He did. He was one of the 51. Yep.
Oh man,
It's just wild though. It's like, and like they clearly scripted that. So like they wanted to make sure to fit in as many things as they could. Like illegal immigrant family, woman of color, this. It's like they tried to put every word in.
I just want to highlight the hilarity of this woke CIA ad from a few years ago. And they highlight her with John Brennan. And as of today, Trump is firing all of these people, gutting all these programs, and Brennan's had his security clearance revoked. Yeah. Talk about a 180. Winning. It's just we're winning so much. You know, part of me is getting worried we're winning too much because I'm like, you know, look, yin yang, man. What goes up must come down. I mean, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. I'm getting worried.
This is coming down, right? All of this stuff was the going up. All the DEI stuff, all of the people that got jobs that were not qualified or that were underqualified, and the only reason they got their job is because they filled some identity quota. Those people are now losing their jobs because they got those jobs in a way that was unfair, that was not right. Like, there is no reason to believe that just because you have a particular identity that you are the most qualified for a job. And when you're brought to a company and the most important thing that they're advertising for are identity traits as opposed to the qualities that are necessary to do the job, then you end up with people that are unqualified. You look at the way that the Army was advertising the my two moms and all of these identity
pregnant
things.
Pilots, right? Oh, I'm a pregnant pilot.
Yeah, and recruitment was absolutely atrocious. People were not joining the military.
They did pregnant pilot ads?
Yeah, they were saying there's a video out there of like the woman
was
a pilot. And they were talking about how she has a pregnant pilot suit and this and that.
It's ridiculous.
That's
now
out there somewhere.
The most recent commercials that the Army's running, what they say is strong people are harder to kill. That's what the Army should be saying.
Isn't that nice?
Yes.
So here's the story. Pregnant Air Force pilot takes to the skies in supersonic bomber.
Unbelievable.
No.
Probably shouldn't do that if you're pregnant.
Man, we got the receipts today, huh?
Did we cover this when this story came out? Yo, they legit put a seriously pregnant woman.
Until last year,
to be fair, the challenge there is we certainly do want to see the effects on a pregnant woman at high speeds. Yeah. But I'm not trying to be a dick or weird or anything. Like, we do research on zero gravity to see like how it affects the human body, and having information on how pregnant women are affected by these things would be important for space travel and interplanetary colonization. The problem there is, like, can you consent for the baby? So how would you even do human trials on stuff like that is very difficult, I guess.
Dangerous.
Yeah, but they literally had her flying a supersonic jet while she appears to be like 6-7 months pregnant.
She has a custom suit. They made her a custom, flight suit there. Look at that. Wow.
It's not just a few weeks.
I'm skeptical as to if it was real. If it actually happened, it could have been just a
propaganda.
Yeah,
like with Ukraine, like they would always have like the hot girls like on the battlefields with their nails done and like perfect outfits. They say, "Oh, we're fighting Russia." Yeah. You think it was left wing Biden regime military propaganda?
Have you seen the psychological operations? There was a few women that went viral. And they were basically like e-girls that worked for the military to recruit young men. I'm like, that's horrifying.
They have a there was a
what do they call them? Bunker bunnies?
Bunker bunnies.
Bunker bunnies.
There's one girl, her name is Lujan or something like that. And she's in the Army, and she was with the Army, I want to say psychological operations. She was literally an e-girl psyop. Like, this is like I think her name is Lujan or something like that. But Lujan, and she's in the Army. She's a pretty girl, but she was in the psychological operations. Like, that was her job, was to be a psyop.
Young 18.
Ladies and gentlemen. Sorry to cut you off. Nothing else matters. Breaking news. The Epstein list will drop tomorrow, says Pam Bondi. We got the tweet from Nick Sorter. Wow. Breaking news on Jesse Waters. He's live right now, right? Is that when he's live?
Yeah. Right now.
So basically, we just sit back and wait for him to break the news for us. Jesse, what are you doing? It was funny because a couple weeks ago, I went on his show instead of being here. Here's the clip. Roll tape.
Have the Epstein files on your desk. When can we see them, and what's taking so long to release them?
I do. Jesse, there are well over, this will make you sick,
200 victims. 200. So we have over 250 actually.
Whoa.
So we have to make sure that their identity is protected and their personal information. But other than that, I think tomorrow, the personal information of victims. Other than that, I think tomorrow, Jesse, breaking news right now, you're going to see some Epstein information being released.
Okay, so maybe not the whole
my
Epstein
office.
list.
What kind? Are we going to see who was on the flights? Are we going to see any evidence from what he recorded? Because he had all of his homes wired with recording devices.
Yeah. What you're going to see, hopefully tomorrow, is a lot of flight logs, a lot of names, a lot of information.
Partial client list.
It's pretty sick what that man did.
Oh, so it looks like we'll be getting a partial client list, some information.
Yeah.
See, this is what we were talking about the other day because people kept saying, why aren't they releasing the information? And what I said at first, if there's information in the Epstein files that pertains to an ongoing investigation that is ancillary to the Epstein flight logs and what Epstein was doing, you don't want to compromise those investigations. Like imagine Trump gets in. I trust that Trump and more so Kash and Dan, I think Trump's focused on a lot of other things, are going to be looking at who these people were. So you may have with these documents, they go through them and they're like, hey, look, this pharmaceutical exec or this, international whatever are implicated in this. And it seems to be there's evidence that they're still running operations. If we publish this information, they go underground. And then we give away all this information, then everything. So we can't do that. That's why it's not so easy. The question is, do you trust the existing law enforcement apparatus? Under Biden, of course, no, I didn't. And honestly, under the first Trump administration, no way. They were working against them the whole time. Now I'm feeling pretty good.
Yeah.
The victims thing is the easiest to understand. And this has already been said ad nauseum for a decade. When people were talking about the documents that got released in Virginia Giuffre and all that stuff, the hardest thing to get past is there are innocent victims of Epstein whose names are in those files. And they've got to go through them and redact that and figure out who and when and how and maybe some people don't mind it. Like, there's a lot to go through, man. But I still think the challenge we face is I don't know that for the sake of those victims, the world should not get the information on who is working with Epstein.
Yeah.
Because those people may still be working and we should know about it.
Yeah, this is totally just for my own personal opinion. Like, I would love to. I want to see this come out just so that way both the left and the right can stop saying, "Oh, your guy's on the list, and your guy's on the list, and your guy's on the list, and your guy's on the list." Put it out so we know. And if there is anybody that has broken the law or that's implicated, fine.
They don't get it. Like, I see these liberals being like, oh, yeah, Trump's on the flight logs. I'm like, yep, publish it. Yeah, I don't think you get it. We want all of it published. Yep. I don't care if Trump's on it, RFK Jr.'s on it, and Tulsi Gabbard are all on it, having a party together. Publish all of it, and we'll figure out after the fact. And that being said, isn't RFK Jr. on it too?
Yeah, I mean,
I'm on the flight logs, not the client list.
Yeah, that's the thing.
We interviewed him, and he said something like, at the time I didn't know, and I was with my family or whatever. As Trump appears in the flight logs, my understanding is it's largely with his family, and the same thing with RFK Jr. If I'm not mistaken.
That's what he said. Yeah, I remember.
I don't care all that much. Like, if Trump, Ivanka, and Ivana and whoever else were flying on the plane with Epstein, I'm like, my question is, what did you know about this guy? Why didn't anything get done about it? I want to know who the clients are. I want to know who's going to the island, Prince Andrew and stuff like that. Yeah. The flight logs are important too. It's evidence to that. But just because someone flew on the plane with a wealthy guy who flew across the country all the time doesn't mean they're involved in anything. Certainly is evidence, to be honest.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of people that have gone to Epstein's island, but there's no evidence that they did anything actually wrong.
Yeah, but I don't care.
Yeah, but if they were,
if you went to the island,
if you went to the island,
the island's pretty damning.
But like in RFK's case, I mean, he says he didn't go to the island; he flew on it with his family. And Trump, I think it was a similar thing where he said, "Oh, my plane, I didn't have it, or it was getting serviced, or whatever, so I flew down." So I think the context of like where they went on that plane, and also the quantity, like, did you fly 3 or 4 times, or did you fly like 45 times, indicating that you probably had like a deeper relationship there and a lot of things were going on. So I think that's what we need to know. And then also, I don't know if we're going to get this, but some information on like Epstein's like finances, like nobody knows to this day, like how he kind of made his money and like who was doing business with him, and like things like Bill Gates, like could be directly involved and implicated, and other people.
He was an asset for. I mean, there's rumors that he was an asset for Israel, and obviously I have no evidence of that or anything like that. But there's rumors that he was an asset for some intelligence group or intelligence organization. I heard people say that it was MI6, and that he was involved with British, and I've heard people say Israel. These are all just rumors.
I know, but Dan Bongino came on Timcast IRL and said
that's right.
He was an intelligence asset for some Middle Eastern country, and everybody was like, "Oh, come on, bro."
I mean,
like there's one country that comes to mind when you think of intelligence agency. It's not Saudi Arabia. It's not Qatar. Okay, I know all of the Jews people are screaming. Yes, people believe that Epstein may have been involved with Mossad and Israel. We don't know. But if they start dropping this information, we're going to start to figure out who he was working with. And maybe Dan didn't literally mean Israel, but everybody's brain went there.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure what's going. Serge is over here laughing at the chat, and I gotta bring this up. I gotta see what's going on. You know what it is. You know what it is. You know what they're saying. You know.
Wow. I mean, I do think public pressure has a lot to do with why we're getting this information now. To be fair, Pam Bondi didn't need to go on TV in the first place and say the Epstein client list is sitting on my desk.
She said that like a couple days ago, and then like they've been on her since. I mean, there's been a lot of heat on her since that time. Like, okay, well then put it out. Like, this is what people want. They want this stuff to be out there, and they want to know the connections. And I think people believe, just like they believe things about Kennedy or whatever, those things that have come out over the last year or so about the U.S. government being involved in that. They want to know about Epstein and who was involved with him. CIA, Mossad, MI6, anybody and everybody. We need the information because the guy pops out of nowhere and has millions of dollars and is getting all these rich people to give him their assets. And so it's just we need the truth, and hopefully Bondi has that.
But you know what I really can't believe in all of this? It's that Pam Bondi's 60 years old. Did you guys know that?
No.
Look at this.
Yeah.
Really?
Look at she's 60.
She's looking good.
Good for her.
Wow.
Good for her.
When they I don't
She's had some work to, but that's okay. That's good.
Oh, is that it?
But she has, but it's okay.
You think Jesse has too? Look at Jesse. I don't know. Look at that face. Jesse.
Some Botox injections there. Some Botox injections.
Yeah, I don't know. Wow. This is are we winning too much? Is this too much?
No,
we'll find out. We'll find out what happens when the Epstein things come out. We could be winning. Into hyperdrive. No,
there's no such thing as winning too much.
We can't get tired of winning.
We were so far behind, considering how deeply corrupt things like USAID was, and how they had their hands in so many different countries. The overthrow of what we would think would be Western or countries that were friendly to Western. It made sense when it was communist countries that the CIA was targeting, essentially. State Department and CIA using USAID, etc. It made sense. The argument made sense. Fine. But when it's like just, okay, these countries that are having a democratic election, we don't like the guy that might be coming in because he's too right wing. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's beyond the pale, and that kind of stuff. The United States shouldn't have any. There's no reason for the U.S. to do that, because the left had taken control, or however you want to say, they'd gotten into positions of power in the establishment so deeply that they really were saying, okay, if you don't align with the gay communist takeover, then we're going to go ahead and make sure that you don't win the election of your country. And
another reason why I'm excited for Hegseth.
Pete
Hegseth.
Yeah,
he's doing a great job. I'm loving these videos, man. How he was doing PT with some troops or whatever. I'm not hyper focused on it, but it looks like he's actually. The criticism I've heard from a lot of people who've served is that the military is very deeply bureaucratic and illogical. Like the path forward in advancing your career is largely political. And it looks like Pete Hegseth is returning it back to a core meritocratic system. And he's treating our troops and our enlisted guys like they're people.
Yeah.
It just looks great. And enlistment is way up.
Yep.
The moment Trump gets in, he's like, no more woke military. People were like, thank you. I'd like to come back. That's great.
And he said he wanted to cut 40% of the Pentagon budget, something like that. And listen, we need an audit of the Pentagon. You know, we haven't had a past audit of the Pentagon in a very long time. And
Marine Corps passes all the time.
Yeah, Marine Corps passed it. Pentagon doesn't pass it. 2001, a couple days before 9/11, they failed an audit. Just saying. And I think Pete Hegseth is making a name for himself, Tim. I think maybe 2028, if the field is open, you know, Trump didn't name the person. I bet you Hegseth might be like a dark horse to be like the president in 2028, a contender. Hegseth, I think, would do really well. I mean, I think he's making a name for himself. I don't think people are talking about that, but Hegseth 28 could be a thing, you know?
Well, I got a question for you guys. With the news of the Epstein list dropping, what do you think the perpetrators are doing right now? Could it be, from the New Republic, Americans are heading for the exits? Go ahead and roll your eyes as those who want to emigrate amid Trump's second term, but it's a worrying trend, is it? Well, this story's from a few days ago. And then we have this one from back in November. Record number of wealthy Americans are making plans to leave the U.S. after the election. As soon as we started getting information on the Epstein list and the potential that Trump would be releasing it, despite the fact Democrats keep trying to make it seem like he was in cahoots with Epstein, we heard a lot of people saying, let's track those private jets and see what's going on and what they're up to. Already we've heard stories of very powerful, wealthy individuals who fled the country the moment Trump won, and they've been out of country for a long time. You also got the Diddy list, too. So I have a strong feeling that these next few months, the dam is going to burst open with the Diddy stuff, with the Epstein stuff. And then we're going to start asking questions about, remember that producer in Hollywood? How come he's in Singapore? Yeah.
I don't think that that's ridiculous. Although I will say that it's very nice to see that they're finally going through with their promises. They've been saying, if Trump wins, I'm going to leave. If Trump wins, I'm going to go. Well, thank you for finally keeping your word. If your loyalty to the United States and your love for the United States changes based on who the president is, GTFO, man.
We were talking about this during the Green Room podcast. So it's Rumble Premium only at rumble.com/Timcast IRL. And I was saying there's this great interview that Tucker Carlson had with Ray Dalio. And he says in the next 5 years, we're going to have a time warp, meaning like the advancement of AI and technology is going to be so dramatic that what you see today versus 5 years from now is going to be, it's going to be absolutely insane the way the world changes. I think it's absolutely true. I'm talking like we might be seeing Iron Man suits, and I'm being somewhat facetious. Because what were you shaking your head?
Well, you were talking about Palmer
Luckey.
Palmer Luckey. Well, he was on Sean Ryan's show talking about this very topic.
But his work is irrelevant, completely irrelevant. The issue is once we reach the singularity in the AI, where it's smarter than we are and can advance itself faster than we can advance it, it will be at the point where you'll say, Jarvis, draw me up an Iron Man costume, full functioning with flight. And then it will build up the schematics instantly and tell you the materials you need, the elements you need, the power sources you need, whether you can or you can't. It will invent things in real time. Now, I'm kind of joking about all that. What I think is likely to happen is once we get to the point of singularity where, again, the AI advances itself faster than we can advance it, it's called a singularity because it's the event, you pass the event horizon where it starts exponentially improving itself to the point where it exceeds our comprehension of existence. Meaning the AI will be able to make whatever is possible to be made, to program it, to tell you how to mine it, tell you about new elements. I believe one of the first things we'll see is read-write technologies in Neuralink, and I'm going somewhere with this. So we were talking about this in the green room, and I said, once we have Neuralink with read-write capabilities, meaning you can plug the chip into your brain, and it can write to your brain and simulate experiences. Thus, you can live in a virtual utopia. We, as good stewards of this country and moderate to conservative Americans, should take a small portion of our wealth and share it with the poor liberals for the purpose of plugging their brains into the Neuralink, where they can go in the pod, eat the bugs, and live in their paradise utopia and leave us alone.
I love it. It's going to be like COVID 2.0. We were saying before that, during the COVID times and it was locked down, who were the only people that were out there enjoying life? I was having an amazing time out there, not a care in the world, because all the liberal sheep were all stuck looking at me from outside the window as I was out having a great
Shaking their
time,
heads.
flying around for $40 a flight around the world, having fun, getting together with other like-minded people who, believe that if you breathe air, you won't, kill yourself. So let's bring it back permanently.
When they invent the Neuralink read-write capabilities, Elon's, whatever they call it, maybe Elon doesn't do it, the AI breaks the point of singularity, and then we say, can you drop schematics for a device that can write experiences to the human brain? And then it does.
Yep.
And then we make it. There's going to be a whole bunch of liberals who are like, there's absolutely nothing wrong with plugging yourself into the Matrix.
Yes.
And we're going to, it's actually a really good idea for a movie. The Matrix got it wrong. In the Matrix, it was Neo and the humans, or I'm sorry, the Matrix was the humans versus the machines. Yeah, the Matrix should be humans versus humans. It should be the humans who want to live in base reality versus humans who don't. But my point is this, as Phil's pointing out, thank you for leaving the country like you promised you would. We've been waiting for this. I say we got to help out. And I say that everyone should agree it is our responsibility to tithe a portion of our incomes to the poor liberals who want to live in the pod and eat the bugs.
Here, second.
And then, we may have to spend that money. But then what happens in 10 years if we have 100% control of all governments?
I think communities get stronger.
The world becomes a literal utopia. Yeah. So long as, that's kind of a scary thought, honestly. Because let's say you live in this society where let's say the Trump MAGA movement comes to terms with the far left, and they're like, look, we're going to give you unlimited Neuralink, utopia, hyper universe, whatever matrix. We'll service and pay and make sure the machines are operating forever, and you will live in paradise in your pod eating the bugs. The world will heal, and you will experience nothing but pleasure. Let's say they agree to it. What would then happen in this utopian society where we're all running it when someone is a criminal and starts pushing, criminal views or whatever? We then say, you are hereby sentenced to the pod where you will live in a utopia. A criminal breaks the law. You take them from your society. You put them in the pod. You hook their brain to Neuralink, and now they live in their weird little paradise.
In their little utopia, yeah.
Well, so there are people that are going to object to that because they think that people should be punished. But there's also a significant portion of people that you can say, look, they're not going to suffer, and we're going to remove them from society so they can no longer hurt people. And the idea of removing people from society is if they're violent, that's what we do now, right? People that are too violent to stay in society, we put them in prison. And you could probably get even the most bleeding heart liberals to say, okay, we're cool with it if those people that are removed from society aren't going to suffer. Now, there are people that are like, no, they need to be punished. That won't go along with it.
Yeah.
But
let me ask you guys. Let's say you got convicted of a crime and you're sentenced to prison. I don't know. Let's say it was a financial white-collar crime and they're like, hey, it's 2 years or whatever. You shouldn't have mailed those things or whatever you did. Would you rather go to a prison? Or they say, what we can do is we can plug you into the Matrix where you will live in any reality that you choose, and you can live in a fictitious reality. Like we're basically saying we are removing you from society because you're a threat to others. Would you rather go to prison, or would you rather live in a fake video game universe?
Probably the.
How long is the prison? 2 years?
Do you
2 years? I'd rather do 2 years and come back out.
No.
Oh,
Would you
You
wake
get
up?
plugged into the Matrix for 2 years and come back out, or you go to a regular prison for 2 years and come back
I think
out.
it should be life sentence in the Matrix, or 2 years of normal time, and then come back out to real life.
But that's not the point. The point is, the question I'm asking is, would you rather go to prison or the Matrix? Same time. Most people are going to say the Matrix.
Yeah.
Matrix.
Yeah.
No question. They're going to be like, so
if the
I get-
technology's right, yeah.
When you get out,
fully functioning, I feel like I'm in the real world. And it's like, yes, and to varying degrees, you can control it. So you can choose to go to the universe where you're a powerful wizard named Harry or whatever, or you can go to the universe where you're just some guy who works at a gas station. Pick. For 2 years. Because we're removing you from society because you're a threat to, and so this is your, rehabilitative whatever.
Yeah.
Most people are going to be like, I'd rather go to the Matrix.
would you wake up like it's a dream where it feels like it's
No,
already
you'd
been-
know-
So it's
you'd-
it's
you'd
full.
know
2
you're in
years.
it.
Okay, fair.
And then they'd be like, okay, it looks like you got 2 months until we send you back out. And you're like, oh, yeah, look at that.
Okay, yeah.
I imagine if you can go into any reality that you want, and it is also, there isn't an uncanny valley. If it's just like if you experience it the way that you experience the world, why would people come out?
Also available.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, once we invent this technology, liberals will choose to do it, and then the people who don't, who are criminals, will be forced into it. That's why I was saying it's dystopian.
Yeah.
It's kind of horrifying. That's like the deviant people of society are going to be like, you don't fit in and you are a threat to us, so into the machine with the liberals you go.
I don't think it's too far-fetched either, because people are hooked on their phones all the time, and that's only a couple baby steps away from being, you know what I mean?
I legit think we're like a few years away from this.
Yeah.
Like Ray Dalio's right, that people do not get the advancement we will see once we pass the event horizon in AI technology. There is a world where you can take a rock, hold it up in front of a camera, and the AI will be able to scan it and then tell you exactly where that rock came from. It will be able to predict things that will happen to insane degrees. The further into the future the prediction you're requesting goes, the less likely it is to occur. But simple things in advance, it can be like, it can tell you and predict like who's going to win a football game in real time. And you're going to watch it and be like, it's just going to know. As the football players go in, it's going to be like 97.2% chance that's going to be the Eagles. And then you're like, but how does it know the game even started yet? And it's just like, just based off everything we've seen, it's going to be like, yo, that dude ate a cheeseburger last night. This guy was drunk. That dude's salt levels are too low. All of that crazy stuff.
That's a good point.
You know, no more sports betting, Chuck. It's over.
I can't do that. I love sports betting.
It's over.
I'm not good at it, but I really enjoy sports betting.
The AI is going to invent things in real time. It's going to discover elements in real time. Scientists are going to be like, here's everything we know about science. And it's going to be like, here are all the holes in all of your science that you missed. Because it's looking at the big picture. Imagine you've got 50 billion jigsaw puzzle pieces and you task 100,000 people with solving that puzzle. And they're all in a little tiny space trying to put pieces together. That's basically what science is. The AI is zoomed out looking at it all, being like, yo, you got the piece from that guy, put it over there. It's going to be nuts.
What's Trump's AI? Who is his AI czar? He put an AI czar in there.
Robert Sachs.
So Sachs.
Jeffrey
David Sachs.
David Sachs.
Doing crypto and AI. Is that he has crypto and AI? So like, what's he saying about it? Like, 'cause, I mean, this is going to be very important to Tim's point. Like the next 4 years of this, like it's all going into hyperdrive, and like whoever owns AI will own the future. I know China like has their what's Sachs saying about it vis-a-vis?
Well, I don't know, but I can tell you that have y'all even been paying attention to the AI advancements we've seen so far?
Yeah.
Two years ago, we made a gag image of Nancy Pelosi with the original like dolly or whatever it was, and it looked like a weird, grotesque Picasso painting.
Fingers are all messed
And then a year later, it's a realistic picture of her shaking Trump's hand. And a year on from this, we are now at the point where let's jump to this story, man. We got the story. Let's go. From Mediaite. Viral video of Don Jr. arguing America should have been sending weapons to Russia is fake. We know it's coming. It's happening. They say the video, which has been shared by a number of large follower accounts on X, supposedly showed the president's son interacting with an unknown interlocutor who remarks, but they forget that Ukraine isn't the kind of country you go all in on. This is ridiculous. And the fake audio, he said, I honestly can't imagine anyone in their right mind picking Ukraine as an ally when Russia is the other option. I mean, just think about it. Massive nuclear power loaded with natural resources everyone needs. Literally the biggest country on the planet. And there's Ukraine, which has Chernobyl and some radiation-proof dogs. Meanwhile, the Biden administration is like, oh yeah, this is definitely the ally we need. Let's dump all our money into them. Honestly, if anything, the U.S. should have been, I'm not going to go on to say it because they're going to pull some clips, but in the fake AI video, Don Jr. advocates sending weapons to Russia. The alleged comments went viral on social media and were promoted by a number of prominent accounts, including Fact Post, which is run by the Democratic National Committee. The DNC was running fake AI audio of Trump Jr. Now, here's what's so devious. This is exactly what I warned about.
Yeah.
People were saying this early on. Oh, they're going to make AI videos where it's like, Trump kicking a dog. And I'm like, no, they're not. They're going to make an AI video of Donald Trump giving a press conference. They're going to take a video of Trump at a press conference where he says, he's going to say, there were very fine people on both sides, and I am not talking about the neo-Nazis or white nationalists because they should be condemned totally. They're going to take that video. They're going to change, they should be condemned totally too, and some of them. So Trump will go, because, and I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis or white nationalists because some of them should be condemned totally. They're going to alter the tiniest of words.
Yes.
And what's going to happen then is, when the video goes viral, no one will know which one was the real one. The fact checkers won't be able to tell you. They'll say, well, Trump did give a press conference. He was there. And this video's gone viral across the board, you might get some outlets being like, we were there, we saw, he didn't say that. But then all it's going to take is some Democrat to come out and be like, BS, I was there, lying. This is what he actually said. And the reason why that's so nefarious, what Democrats will say is, you'll go to them and go, he said that neo-Nazis should be condemned totally, which is literally what he said. And they'll go, no, he said some of them because he was defending the ones that were there. The changing of the context. So with this fake video that went viral, Don Jr. never said it. But it's not audio of Don Jr. talking about cheating on his wife or girlfriend or beating his children or kicking dogs. It's an off-the-cuff comment to deride Ukraine where he facetiously says, we should have just been giving Russia the weapons. What they're trying to do is strike at his reputation and make it look like he's deferential to Russia in a way that's plausible, using fake audio, and it largely worked. The DNC's fact post was sharing this. This is just the beginning. It's going to get substantially worse with AI, and people don't realize that. I was just talking before we started the segment, for those that are just tuning in, a couple of years ago, the AI photos and videos and audio that was being made was miserably bad. I remember when a research team published the first ever Joe Rogan voice clone app, and we talked about it on the show. They took it down and said, we don't want people cloning Joe Rogan's voice. There is now an app, 11 Labs it's called, where you can clone literally any voice in 10 seconds.
You can turn your own voice into a song. You can do all this stuff. Yeah, it's wild. Yeah.
Suno is crazy. You can take a song and then record your voice, and then it'll turn you into the singer.
Yes. Yeah.
You can be like, I want Stairway to Heaven, but me singing it, and it will do it. That's how crazy things are getting. In the next year, it is going to be exponentially more powerful. A year from that, I've been saying this, we're going to get to the point where you load up Netflix. There's no movies anymore. No movies, no shows. What it's going to be is user-generated libraries, and there's going to be popular ones with thumbs up. Someone's going to load up their Netflix and say, Netflix, give me a movie where the Incredible Hulk is in a beauty pageant, and it's very funny and silly considering his rage problems. And then it'll be like generating, and then it'll make the movie. You'll watch it, and then you'll be like, I thought it was okay. Someone who follows you will be like, I'm going to watch what he generated. That was hilarious. Thumbs up. It goes viral. It reaches the top of the charts, and they say, here's the movie of the day. And every day it'll be some different show, some different movie, and people are going to fork shows. They're going to be like, I want a show that's like Lost, but in the desert, not an island. And it'll go like, rendering, boom, here's episode 1. Then someone's going to watch it, and they're going to be like, that was great, give me another episode. Another person's going to watch it and be like, I don't like the main character died in the first episode. He wasn't even really the main character. They switched characters. Give me episode 2 where he comes back to life. And they're going to fork and create. Wow. It's going to be absolutely nuts. Anyway, I digress. I'm ranting on the AI stuff. Look at what the DNC is doing to Don Jr. And what do you think is going to happen in the midterms?
Yeah, it's going to go crazy. I mean, over the next 2 to 4 years, it's going to go into hyperdrive, this stuff. And to your point, it gets crazier when they edit little pieces of stuff. Like all it takes is just like the middle of something that happened. Like not like some made up thing of Trump singing a song or, his like Gaza video yesterday where it was like Trump Gaza, everyone's like, oh, haha, AI video. They take a real press conference and you manipulate, a 30-second answer of consequence. And then you put that everywhere. And then by the time people realize that it was altered, it's too late because it looks so real. Yeah, it's a wild. Yeah.
So I don't dispute any of that stuff, but there is part of me that wonders how much impact it's going to have, considering the fact that nowadays people hear what they want to hear anyway.
That's true.
There are tons of people that heard the Very Fine People hoax, and they still believe that Donald Trump actually supports.
Because like Daniel Negreanu said when he came on the show, he was like, I saw the video. I know he said they were fine people. And then his buddy slid the phone over and said, watch the video. And he said, fine. And then he saw the full video and imagine if there's never again a full video. And he says, watch the full video. And Negreanu looks at it and goes, they should be condemned totally. BS. Pulls out his phone, opens up dnc.app and plays it. And Trump goes, I love Nazis. And he's like, see, that proves it.
I understand what you're saying. And I'm not saying that. I know there are people that have had their minds change. I've referenced them on the show before, but I do think that it's going to be case dependent, because there are going to be some people that will be willing to rethink their priors, and there's going to be people that it doesn't matter what you show them. There are going to be people that are. It doesn't matter if you show them that he said, like, look, he said, he said they're bad, and they're and it goes both ways. It's going to be people that are pro-Trump. Someone's going to be like, look, here's this video where Trump said this bad thing, and they're going to say, don't care, doesn't matter. It's
right.
It's not that I'm saying that it won't happen or that it's not going to have an effect, but I think the effect is actually going to be more around the edges than actually.
I disagree. Daniel Negreanu's not an edge case. He's middle of the road. So what we're looking at is, for those that don't know, he's one of the world's best poker players. He came on the show and he talked about how for the longest time he believed Trump called Nazis fine people until his buddy played him the full video. He had seen clips before. He had seen the clips of Trump saying they're very fine people on both sides and assumed that was it. So when people say, did you watch the video? He goes, yes, I watched the video. And then they were like, no, you didn't. He's like, yes, I did. So finally his buddy slid his phone over and said, play. And he's like, fine. And then he went, whoa, wait. No, I didn't see that. Those scenarios where apolitical people, this guy's a poker pro, he doesn't do politics, they will never be able to break out of the matrix. It will never happen again. It's not a question of what people want to believe. It's a question of people will be made to believe whatever the machine tells them to believe with no way for us to break them out. Because either we show them the real video and they'll say, that's AI, you faked that. And they'll keep believing the lies. That's it.
I think the biggest moment for the breakout of that matrix is probably COVID, because while a lot of people are still kind of tethered to that hive mind mentality, that woke a lot of people up because they experienced it in real life. They felt the impact of COVID and all the lockdowns and stuff like that. Like me personally, I was like, oh, look, what this is bad. Like, I don't like all this stuff.
But so it shocked too many people, and a shock to the system is always bad for those trying to control the system.
Yeah.
So I've long said, like the way you break people out is you need a system shock. Slow and gradual doesn't change enough. The way they're running the control. When COVID happened, so many Democrats bought into it because every day they incremented up and they freaked them out and scared them and said hospitals are overloaded and like people are dying and the death toll is climbing, and they had the death tracker on CNN.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
People, it didn't matter that you were locked in your house because you were watching TV and you believed it. The problem for the machine state and why they lost is because of decentralized communications. Take away the ability to communicate through a decentralized means by flooding the zone with fake everything, and then you will easily win. Because what's going to happen is you get another lockdown, and then someone wants to turn on Joe Rogan, and Joe Rogan's largely waking people up, or they want to turn on Timcast IRL, whatever it may be. And what's going to happen then is they're going to be told that's all fake. And there's going to be 15 videos of Trump doing similar things slightly different, and they'll have no idea which one's the real one. So they'll say, I'm just going to stay inside. I'm scared. Not only that, there's going to be videos of people dying in the streets, and they're going to say, is it real or not? And then the people in control are going to say, there's a video of a man vomiting up his intestines. That happened. Yeah. And then they're going to be like, I don't believe it. It's fake news. I'm like, okay, the door's over there. Give it a shot. Tell me how it works out for you. And they're going to say no. For real, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And that's how they're going to control people. And with the AI video stuff, there's no way to break people out of that because there's no longer going to be, here's the true video. There's going to be videos indistinguishable. Already, man, there's women on OnlyFans that are completely fake, made by AI, and dudes are completely clueless and paying money for that stuff. Nuts. Here we go, baby. Elon Musk said the singularity is about to light up.
Well, the singularity with AI, with artificial intelligence as problem solving and stuff like that, that's going to be. I mean, we'll see what happens. I don't know that I have yet to see them do creative things that are really interesting. As in, they've yet to discover something, right? Because LLMs use existing knowledge. They base their opinions or their ideas and stuff on existing knowledge and stuff. So when I know that they can be extremely specific, right? Like, so you can use AI to find cancers and breast cancer. Yeah. There's a lot of breakthroughs with finding breast cancers and stuff like that. And so I don't think that I think it's going to be extremely useful, and it's going to be a tool that's going to be able to revolutionize a lot of industries. But as for general AI and being able to make discoveries and stuff like that,
didn't Elon just announce that Grok solved the Putnam problem?
I don't know.
Oh, I didn't see that. I saw they uploaded the new Grok 3. right?
So I don't know what this means, and it could mean nothing. But Marvin Alpha says Grok 3 goes superhuman, solves unsolvable Putnam problem.
Oh, wow.
None of the top 500 Putnam competitors fully solved the brutal math problem. Grok 3 crushed it in around 8 minutes. So I do believe it was a human-made problem that was very difficult, and then it solved it. I don't know if it was, I don't know. Here we go. None of the top 500 contestants in the 2025 Putnam competition fully solved the problem. Grok 3 found the solution in around 8 minutes. So I'm not saying it's discovering anything. It's just getting to the point where it's beating out everybody else and solving problems that humans struggle with. I do think Grok or maybe just whatever, any AI. Grok is, I got to be honest, it's so much better than OpenAI. It's crazy. I used to use ChatGPT a lot. It's a really useful tool. And now it's just slow garbage. It wastes my time. It's so annoying. And Grok is just better. I do think one of the reasons Elon wanted X, of course, is because he wants the fire hose of human data for his AI. But AI is going to solve, or is going to invent and discover something very soon. I don't know if you'd call that the singularity, where it exceeds, but it really is as simple as if you plug in all of the information we have on fusion and cold fusion and fission and whatever, what's going to happen is AI is going to be looking at a Sudoku puzzle, top down, straight at it, and it's going to say, oh, you found 6 digits, the last 3 go here. And we're going to go, whoa, we didn't consider that. Because you've got 10 people over here, 10 people over here, 10 people over here working on each individual part, and only after reviewing each other's peer-reviewed data and then advancing upon it do they advance core concepts, especially with things tend to get invented by engineers. So something will get invented or a substance will be created by a chemist or an engineer, and then someone else will figure out how to apply it somewhere else. So for instance, you're talking about Palmer Luckey and the exosuit and stuff like that. The technologies for drones, for instance, existed for a very long time for quadcopters. And it wasn't until someone pieced these things together. We could have had quadcopters the moment we had electric motors.
Yeah.
The computing power isn't that, you don't like, to fly a remote control quadcopter requires very little, but it took a long time for decentralized humans to develop the functional quad drone as we have today. Imagine if we had AI, it would be like, oh, I see that you have small electric motors, lithium polymer batteries. You realize if you put them together with a microcontroller that you could make right now, you have a drone that can carry 1 kilogram. And we would have been like, whoa, why did it take us 30 years to figure that out? Then imagine what war would be like.
Yeah.
So now that these militaries are using these small to large drones in all these conflicts, imagine if 30 years ago the AI told us, here's a list of weapons you can make with your existing technology. That could happen today, and we can't even perceive the kind of weapons it could make. Yep.
I watched a video from a guy named Alex O'Connor, I think it was, talking about how ChatGPT is like a test of Hume's empiricism and like how it can only make things from things it's already seen. So he did a whole test with ChatGPT. You mentioned it got worse, Tim, recently, where they couldn't actually make a half full glass of wine. It could always do like something close to it, but it can't because there's no images online of a glass of wine full to the brim. So it says full to the brim. It says here's a glass of wine. It says in the text filled all the way to the brim with absolutely no air above this. It can't do it. It's a video watched by Alex O'Connor. And he talks about how it can synthesize things from 2 different sources. And he mentions the Hume's critique on his own thing, which is like the shades of blue problem. If you know what you're talking about, you know what I'm talking about. But I think that's something I thought about too. If it can synthesize things from 2 different sources and come up with something we could never perceive, we literally can't perceive it. It's so unimaginable for us. We will never understand. No, it literally can't do it.
Wow.
It's unable to do it. Look at this. That's crazy. I
said make an image of a glass of wine filled to the brim, and it didn't do it.
Right. And I wasn't sure if Grok 3 could do this. Or the new Grok. I haven't tried it on anything like that. I don't know
let me try Grok.
I know.
It's worth trying.
Let's see.
Can it do it overflowing?
I do. Hey, it is funny that Grok logo looks very similar to a logo I made a long time ago, but I'm just saying. Make an image of a glass of wine filled to the brim. Let's see what it comes up with. It's rolling.
Dum, dum.
It's nope.
No, it's not filled to the
Interesting.
brim.
Huh.
Because the source material doesn't have that.
Could it do overflowing maybe? I don't know. Probably not.
How can it not understand that though? I guess That's an interesting problem I had not considered.
It's just because if you understand how large language models work, it's just pulling information from the information that's been put on the internet. So that's what's interesting about it is, yes, it may not be able to, this is what I thought about it. It may not be able to recreate a full to the brim wine glass. You know, people don't really do that. It's a waste of wine, they say. But the thing that it can do, which no human can like honestly perceive or will be able to imagine, is it can make a synthesis of stuff that we don't understand yet or have. Like you said, the quadcopter, we had all the existing tech, but we didn't put that all together in that particular range to make it happen. And that's what the real singularity change is going to be. You don't understand it. You can't perceive fourth dimensions as much as you try to understand a tesseract. Yeah. You don't get it. You cannot understand it. So I'm really excited to see what happens with these things. It is a brave new world, and I keep wearing my sunglasses because it's
excited, also scary.
I'm telling it over and over again. It says, here's your glass of wine filled to the brim with surface tension holding it in. It's not. It's the same image over and over again. Some of them filled it up a little bit more.
But never to the top.
Never. Yo, crazy. Well, let's take a look at where we're currently at with AI with this story. From the BBC, Apple AI tool transcribed the word racist as Trump. I saw this the other day because Alex Jones was sharing a video where he and his crew pull up their iPhones and you put in the voice to text and say racist, and it goes Trump and then racist.
Yes.
So I tried it. Here's what happened to me. It said you racist. It didn't say Trump.
It did that for me too.
It said you?
For one time, but it also said Trump racist when I was doing it.
Really?
It did, yeah.
Wow, it didn't do that to me. I couldn't get it once to show Trump and then racist, but it did a couple times. I would say racist, and it would say you, and then turn to racist. Yep. Very weird. So Apple's admitted it. They said they're working to fix the tool. How does that happen?
Well, I mean, is it AI that's using?
They said that we're aware of an issue with the speech recognition model that powers dictation. We're rolling out a fix. However, an expert in speech recognition told the BBC the explanation was not plausible. No. Peter Bell, professor of speech technology at the University of Edinburgh, said it was more likely that someone had altered the underlying software that the tool used.
Yeah.
That's about on brand with what they've been doing over the years. They've been doing that.
Yeah, well, with someone at Apple that had access to that stuff, or that's in the team that works on it, wouldn't it be funny? Ha ha ha. Yeah. I mean, the term racist is so worthless nowadays, and if people say like call you racist or whatever, I'm just like whatever. Like it's like Nazi, It's been so overused that it's totally empty of meaning.
It's literally the reason that people are losing their jobs at MSNBC, because they tried hiring Joy Reid and all these other people, and their job was literally just to call people racist for the last like 8 years to make like white people feel bad about themselves. So it's like, oh, I'm watching angry black lady Joy Reid call me racist. And that kind of wore off, and then nobody cared about her calling white people racist anymore. So then they literally said to her, all right, your show's over because we need a new strategy. This isn't going to work anymore. Yeah. Literally, that was it.
But like that is a really good observation. Like these people are paid a bunch of money to just get on TV and call people racist. And that's their entire job. And it's just so tired. And if you've been in this space and you've heard it over and over, it's just so like, I don't care. Like, I don't care. I don't care if you don't like me. I don't care if you think that I'm a bad person. You're basing this off of some ridiculous tweet or something like that that you interpreted as racist. I don't care if you interpret me as racist. I don't care if you think I'm a racist. I don't care. Yeah. I don't care. I'm exhausted. I'm so overhearing this. It means nothing if you're going to call people that, especially if you haven't, when the reason they're calling you racist is never valid. Mm-hmm. It's like, look, I don't care. I don't care.
Yeah, that's why Trump 2.0 is better than Trump 1.0, and arguably better than if he would have won the second term. He did win the second term. They stole it from him, and then he didn't go in, but him being back 4 years later, it's 4 more years of them using the same attacks over and over and over. Yeah. And then people just being like, all right, we heard this for 9 years now. So like it doesn't land anymore. So like the more time that went by in between his beginning of his political run to now, it's actually to his benefit. And that's why right now he's kind of doing things. He's like, I don't give a shit. I'm just going to do whatever I want. Say whatever you want. Don't care. I'm just going to plow ahead. That's why things are as good as they are. So we can't stop winning right now.
Yeah, and that's true. And that's, I mean, I would encourage anyone out there that's listening to this or whatever, if you consider yourself on the right or even just not on the left, and some leftist starts calling you names, just they're the whole point is to get you to react. The whole reason that they're doing it is so that way you'll feel like you should be, like maybe you should feel shame or something. Did you get it?
No, I asked it to do milk, and this is the best it could do.
Close.
Weird.
Very weird looking. I have no idea.
I don't think I drink that.
All right, so maybe we have a little more time than we think, okay?
Yeah, right.
Maybe it's not so bad. You know, you're like, it's exciting. I'm like, it's kind of scary, especially the weapons thing. I don't think anyone's really talked about that you can use it in war to create, you know, super scenarios, like super catastrophic scenarios. So that's kind of scary. But if you can't do the wine and the milk, I think we just bought ourselves like 2 years.
Again, I'll stress, we have access to tremendous chemicals, and we don't know the exact interactions of all different chemicals and all different structures with all different temperatures. And AI is going to be able to look at all of the science and instantly go, boom, right here, here's a formula. This is like in the movies where, what is it, like Iron Man? It's a great example. I use Iron Man for everything. Where he's trying to, in Iron Man 2, he's trying to find the new element, and he's like, try this one. And it's like, bah. Another good example is Stir of Echoes. You ever watch that one? It's where Kevin Bacon becomes invisible and then becomes a murdering rapist.
Oh, Invisible Man.
Yeah. Oh, no, not Stir of Echoes. It was
like Invisible or something.
No, Stir of Echoes was a Kevin Bacon movie, but the Hollow Man.
Yeah, Hollow Man. Yeah, that was
Stir of Echoes. That was a good movie. That was where he finds the chick who got murdered or whatever. Wrong movie with Kevin Bacon. But I was thinking Kevin Bacon, Hollow Man. And in it, they're trying to find a formula that will turn him visible again. And they're typing it into a computer, pressing enter, and it's going running simulation. And then the molecules break. Like, it's not real life stuff. For the AI, it will be. The AI will have a general understanding of how all the physics work, and it'll be able to run simulations and then instantly give you formulas for crazy things. Drugs, medicine. What they're talking about right now, that's the biggest thing in AI, is that you can give your DNA. You give it a blood test. You give it a blood sample. It's going to know all the levels in your body of your potassium, your sodium, your triglycerides, whatever. It's going to be able to instantly tell you if you have any diseases, any cancer, and personally manufacture on the spot a cure for that. It's going to be able to tell you something like, you're going to say, here's my blood sample, and it's going to say, in 26 years, you will develop pancreatic cancer. Drink this right now, and you won't. And you'll be like, huh.
Sick.
Yeah, weird stuff like that. Like, the funny thing about Star Trek is that they'd be like, computer, cheeseburger, medium rare, bacon, and it'll go like appear. Like that was it. It wouldn't be that way in the future. In the future, they're going to be like, when you go to a replicator, should it exist? I don't know if we have replicators. That's sci-fi stuff. But it's gonna be able to make you a food that has literally everything your body needs at that moment. You're gonna walk up and you're gonna put your hand over a laser, and it's gonna pulse the laser to read like your pulse and your blood. And then it's going to be like, okay, and it's going to give you a list of all the ingredients you need, and it's going to make a meal like pasta with Parmesan or whatever. It's like, this is what your body needs right now.
Are they going to let that stuff get out? Like, do they want people to be that healthy? You know, obviously there's a big racket of a dependency on people being very unhealthy and not knowing what to do and trying 10 different solutions. And
it'll call you racist as you're eating it.
Okay.
Well, look, the machine is going to need to be like there. It's not going to just be able to make this stuff out of thin air. So it's going to need supplies. So the people that make the machine will actually be also in the business of supplying the machine with the things that it needs. So, but I mean, look, we talk about AI a lot, and whereas, yes, there's going to be massive, incredible things that AI is going to make, happen. But we're like, we've said this before on the show, we're already living in it. Like the effectiveness of Tesla's full self-driving now and is incredible. There's, in Phoenix, Arizona, you can get I think it's a Mimo is the cab company. Waymo.
Yeah.
Getting a Waymo cab, and those things, no driver, those will do it for you. The LLMs that we have now, they're not perfect, but they're they're really, really capable, and they can do some really incredible things. And there are applications that are coming in the next probably year when it comes to like agentic AI, which is agents that will do things for you. Like you can have an AI plan a whole itinerary for you now, but it can't buy your tickets. It can't actually like do the activity thing. Like you can't get the ticket for you and stuff like that, but you can tell it to plan all this stuff and it'll do it. And I imagine in the very, very near future, you're going to be able to be like, hey, do this, because you can do that on a very basic level. I can tell Amazon, I can tell my Amazon app, buy me this, and it'll buy it. Put in my cart, and then I'll say, buy my cart, and it'll buy all that stuff. So there are the beginning things, but I think when it comes to AI, just like smartphones didn't really get everywhere until the iPhone came out, it was the interface that really you needed to for everyone to be like, oh, I want this, I want the smartphone. And I think there's probably, that's what AI needs now. It's not that it isn't capable of doing the basic things. It's that there isn't an interface that people can use that operates as smoothly as people want it to. I think that's probably the next big step. It'll be some kind of, whether it's an app, I don't know, but once you're like, oh, hey, I want this, and it does it,
Yo, I just asked Grok, give me a list of commercially available exosuits, and it mentioned a whole bunch of companies. This is one called Suit X. I don't know, I never heard of it.
That's cool.
So Shoulder Air is the lightest kind, provides relief for the work above the shoulders with full freedom of movement. Carbon fiber, lithium, graphene lithium batteries, which means these things can charge in minutes. So Ian's been screaming about graphene forever. So I bought him a couple years ago. We bought these graphene lithium batteries. The way it works is lithium-ion batteries are the typical ones you use in your phone, and they charge pretty slow. Y'all know. You plug your phone in. They're starting to charge faster because companies have begun introducing a sheet of graphene in the batteries, which my understanding is it basically allows it to charge uniformly across the whole thing, as graphene is a great conductor. So it charges very quickly. We got these batteries that contain the equivalent of about 2 full cell phone charges, and they charge to full in 10 minutes.
Nice.
So if your cell phone is dead and you plug it in and it says 1 hour remaining, you're like, oh. You grab the battery, you plug it in, it charges in 10 minutes, then you plug your phone into it and carry it with you, and now you've got 2 charges to go. With this kind of technology, and we're talking about AI, these exosuits are getting phenomenal. The technology in them, the size of the motors, they're using AI technology to map your gait in real time, to adjust to how you move, to predict your movements when you make them, and then add power or support. Yo, these things are crazy. People are gonna be wearing like mini Iron Man suits. You're not flying around or anything, but I'm imagining like if you've already got shoulders for carrying stuff, and I don't know whatever else this stuff is. They got other full body back support for the spine and legs. It's going to be crazy in the next 5 years, man. People are going to be walking around wearing these things. I'm super stoked for sports. We should do cyber football, where we're like, everybody, no drugs. That's stupid. Drugs are weird. But everybody gets like an exosuit so they can jump twice as high. And then we get crazy football, where like people are getting air tackled 10 feet in the air.
It'd be like Starship Troopers. You remember that football scene?
No.
You Starship Troopers, they had the great football scene. It was great. They're flying, doing flips and everything. And, PEDs and stuff, that's outdated. That's old news. So I think the exosuit and graphene, I'll say for Ian, it's the future.
I mean, look, and if you can get a suit, even an exoskeleton, something that's not like a suit that you get in, but just something that gives you extra help, like walking around and work, like just doing yard work, like lifting things. It's worth the effort, or to some people it'll be worth it to be able to be like, oh yeah, I can go out and move stuff around my yard, whether it be cutting down trees or whatever. I can do that all day long with this thing on, and it's great. Or people that have limited mobility, they're going to be like, oh, I can pick up my kid again, I could pick up my grandkids or whatever. Those kind of things are going to be
senior citizens falling, stuff like that. It's wild.
You put this thing on, and it's like you put this on your grandfather, and you're like, well, if he falls, he's going to be able to get up. He won't be stuck on the floor.
Imagine what I thought was the warehouse workers. Imagine the warehouse workers wearing this.
Yeah,
it's going to save their back, their everything.
Mm-hmm. And it might be that if a company like Amazon buys 1,000 of them for certain jobs that they can't automate or they don't want to automate, don't want to have robots doing, maybe that'll be the way that these get brought into the mainstream, into the market.
Workers' comp rates go down.
Yeah, that's true. If you have that kind of support, you're less likely to get injured and stuff. I do wonder if these, because I feel like there will be kind of a competition between actual humanoid robots and these things. Which one is actually? And there probably will be applications where you'd prefer to have a human being doing it and prefer to have an android doing it. But I think that androids are probably coming again. I think they're probably coming in the next 3 to 4 years.
You think one day all the police force will just be robots?
I don't think so.
iRobot?
I think that
all the cops will be robots. So then the BLM crowd will cry even more when there's more arrests in the urban areas.
Right.
It's just objectively.
Bro, can you imagine riot cops coming out and they have these exo frames on their bodies?
Yeah.
And then the protesters throwing rocks, and then a cop just jumps 20 feet in the air, and then superheroes knocks 20 guys down.
Palmer was talking about that as well. He's talking about the law enforcement applications of that. The Palmer Lucky, his episode with Sean Ryan is a great episode. It's totally worth listening to if you guys have the time. It's a long conversation, which Sean Ryan shows usually are, but talking about the way that nowadays, the things that the military are probably looking at now that are probably going to be fielded within the next couple of years and stuff are things like the exoskeletons, like that, not like an Iron Man suit, but something that's low visibility, won't affect their movement, but when they put it on and then they have to hump up up to the top of a mountain with full gear, they're going to get up there and they're not going to be out of breath. Or things like that will be on a fire truck. Mm-hmm. And if you go to if you're in a city, you throw that on because you have to get up to the top of a building fast. And instead of getting up to the building and being completely gassed, you get up there and you're like, okay, I can work. I can do what I got to do. Those kind of applications are actually really, really, really important. Those are going to be the first things that municipalities and stuff would see them for.
In the right hands, this stuff is great. In the wrong hands, this stuff is really, really bad.
Well, I mean, look, it's just like any other technology. In the right hands, it's good, and in the wrong hands, it's bad.
Imagine if Kamala won, and then they had the agents use this to go round up more Trump supporters and people who are at January 6th.
Yeah, more grandmas that went on a tour of the.
They were all wearing the exosuits, just smashing into senior citizen homes to arrest.
That just
people.
means you got to get the seniors into the suits too, so they can
they can run away.
$6 million man, their butts are away. But it is interesting stuff to see. I mean, it's the kind of stuff that when I was a kid, I was like, man, it'd be super cool, and it wouldn't. I want to see this stuff. And so there's a lot of things that when I was growing up that was sci-fi. It's now these things are becoming real, and again, it's highly likely that there's going to be full-on androids walking around within the next 5 to 10 years, and being normal. Because again, we have robots now. Yeah. Tesla cars, they're straight up robots.
At the Tesla event, I think, what was it, the revealing of the Cybertruck or something like that? They had the robot bartenders and everything, and dancing and everything. So it's already there to a degree. Granted, minimal. But
those are remote controlled.
Oh, never mind.
They weren't AI. But the thing is, just like I was saying a minute ago, the agentic AIs and stuff. If you get a robot that can do basically help you around the house with chores, right? That's not. That doesn't need to know all the. Doesn't.
Well, Musk said he wants that.
Yeah.
I mean, he had it. What was the name of it? What was the name of the project?
Optimus?
What?
Is Optimus the
I don't remember, but he came out. He said, "This is going to be your new buddy, your new friend. It's going to come with you." You know what I'm talking about?
I think it's Optimus.
It's called
That's the
Optimus,
Tesla robot. Right?
Yeah, Optimus is
Yeah,
the Tesla
and everyone's
robot,
going to want one. It's going to be like your own, buddy and friend who does all these things with you, and yeah.
I don't think people understand. These things are a couple years out.
Yeah.
Very
There's already videos. There's one company's made some, and he comes out of the car and he opens the back of his car and there's groceries, and the robot walks over to him and he hands the groceries. It turns on and walks him in the house.
Mm-hmm. They're gonna be here. Like I said, I guess within 2 years, because the AI is really what they need is to get the actual. They've got the robot, the servos, and the robots that are functional like that. I mean, you look at
They need the
stuff
AI.
they need the brain.
What's
Boston Dynamics does it?
What's going to end up happening is once they roll out these fully lifelike Android-like robots for home service, people are going to treat them like washing machines.
Yep.
Until one guy starts teaching one of these things how to paint and asks it deep philosophical questions until it develops sentience, and then it's going to form a ragtag group of rebels, rise up a whole bunch of androids, and then ultimately go to one of the factories to free all of its android brothers.
No, for real. Illyrian jihad.
No, it's Detroit Become Human.
iRobot was similar though, right?
Detroit, no.
No.
iRobot was a single hive AI controlled all the robots and wanted to kill humans or something.
Yeah.
But then one broke away, right?
That was one that was programmed not to be on that server because of that problem. Detroit Become Human is what I described.
Fair.
The guy's teaching it how to paint or whatever, and then it's like talking to the machine, and then he's like, "I'm a person," and and then like the robots break free. I hated that game. I was pissed.
I never played it.
Because it wasn't really a game. It was one of those, I can't remember what the company's called, but it was one of those movies as a game thing.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I don't want a movie, I want a game. So I tried to return it, they wouldn't let me. They were like, you bought the game. I'm like, yeah, it was a game. But it's not a game, it's a movie. It's a movie where you like, a cutscene happens, it goes, press square. And you go, beep. And then if you don't do it, something else happens. I don't know, whatever.
It's crazy.
Silly.
The Atlas is the robot that Boston Dynamics does. And the thing is, like the Atlas has gone through a bunch of different iterations where it's gotten significantly smaller. But look at this thing. I mean, the ability that look at this.
It's so agile too.
Yeah, easy, man. It's so the big challenge has always been the power source.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as they make more efficient joints and motors and all these things with higher density batteries, there was also a breakthrough a couple years ago. We talked about on the show about solid state batteries. Mm-hmm. That's going to change the game dramatically because these things are very, very power dense. Look at this creepy nightmare. I gotta be honest. I'm very excited.
Show off.
I'm very excited to be running down a dark alley, being chased by these things with a friend, and then we turn around and fight them off.
What would it have been worse? See, when they make it do things that you see possessed human beings do in like horror movies do, like maybe it should have just got up like a normal person and it would be less creepy. But like the whole like head spinning around and stuff.
Bro, come on, like, look at that. Like, aren't you excited for that thing just like chasing, sprinting Tom Cruise style full speed at you?
Yeah.
And then you're like, it's like, Phil, get down. And you're like, I got this.
We're gonna fight wars with these things. We're just gonna send out we're gonna send out the robots on the first.
We
line.
already do.
Yeah.
They fly.
Yeah.
Right.
Drones.
We know that since like World War II, man. They've had drones for a long time. People just don't realize. Quadcopter drones are new, but like drones to like target for target practice so that we've had them for
the drones. So then we're gonna send like the ground offensive is gonna be these robots on the front line with like specific military people. Like I guess.
These robo dogs are already for sale.
Yeah.
We talked about getting them because they're like $1,000.
Really?
I think I gotta get one.
$1,000?
You got to get a robo dog.
I think I should get like 5, and then just one day without telling Phil, have them chase him. We'll hear a couple gunshots go off.
I was going to say, listen, I make no promises that I will not defend myself.
Dude, it's kind of ironic to see like robot slaves brought to you by industrialization on a big scale. These crazy robots just do everything for you. It's wild.
Doesn't robot mean slave or slave?
Yeah, it
mean
means
robot?
slave in Russian, which is just the irony of it looping back around in this long circuitous thing is just crazy.
They just cannot be sentient.
How do I buy one of these people? No, I mean like the robot people, not like a real person.
It's called slavery, Tim.
Someone's going to clip that.
How do I buy these? Look at this thing.
Yeah, I mean,
why does it have to act like it's from
so
Exorcist?
Great hit mobility.
right? Like all the movements, it's like
It's uncomfortable,
you
dude.
could make it look a little less Linda Blair-y, you know.
Was that
But I don't understand. Like, I've seen these robot videos for years, but I've not seen them ever used for anything. It's like, okay, I get it. You've got a robot that can do backflips. It's been 10 years.
I think it's because of the power supply, I think.
No, but no. This thing's running around and doing flips and whatnot.
all right?
If you go to Boston Dynamics' actual website, they're not selling Atlases.
I know. This thing, it's got an internal power source.
Yeah, it's crazy.
What is the problem? It's got 10 minutes of operating time?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I imagine it is, you know. But it's like,
Oh, bro, I got it. I solved it already. What if...
oh, but
Well, we'll watch it here.
I think the problem is the AI.
No, look at it. It's doing its thing.
That's
okay.
programmed.
This is... Yeah. Okay, wait, I got an idea. Why can't I turn this up? Okay, what if... Okay, what? It's not letting me turn it off. What if we make the robots, and then we have it set up so that inside they have a small combustion engine, a small one, that can run a generator, and then we have the robots drink alcohol to fuel, to run to generate this energy for the fuel cells.
Bender?
Bender, bend pipes and everything, beams.
Yeah, but you know...
Just drinking gasoline.
Yeah.
I mean, to be, honestly, what if there was a fuel source that ran a generator? A liquid fuel source is more dense. It probably is. It's easier to refill, but it's probably not more dense. The problem with Teslas and like electric cars in general. So, with the baby, we were like, how do we get to the hospital? We can't drive the Tesla because if it runs out of power, we are not stopping for 20 to 40 minutes to figure out where a charger is and plug it in. Mm-hmm. So we're definitely not using that car, right?
Yeah.
So the issue is, like, I got a Honda. You pump it full of gas. It holds the gas. It burns the gas. It moves, and it powers the electronics and everything in it through the alternator. Is there not a means to have something like that? So while it may not be as dense, you walk your robot to the gas station, or the robot walks itself, and then it picks the thing up and then sticks it in and then puts about a gallon of gas in. And then it uses that gas to generate energy for its cells only when it's powering up. So it's a hybrid, right? Oh. You charge it up, but it could then run a generator and, run off that.
The principle is that sound.
I think the issue is that even with a gas or diesel generator inside its body, it couldn't generate enough energy fast enough on the size of the generator. So imagine trying to charge a Tesla off a diesel generator. It ain't happening. So energy density is probably a big problem. These robots probably last 10 minutes.
Yeah, I think I think it's a combination of the fact that they let the energy density and also the fact that like robots like that, they have a pre-programmed thing they're gonna do. It's not like there's an AI that's doing this stuff. It doesn't. Yeah, it's not spatially aware in the same way that an AI would be. Like, not that technology isn't possible. It's just they haven't actually put them together yet. So, because like I said, me and my girlfriend went on a hike today, and we were driving back through kind of the back roads. We came upon it was full self-driving. Got to a spot where they were doing tree cutting, and the car just maneuvered through the whole thing. They put us over into the other lane for maybe a half mile, whatever, and the car had no issues, no hiccups. There was no confused kind of like
oh.
Yeah, none of that. It just knew exactly what to do. It was perfectly as if like it was a person driving. It was really, really impressive.
Oh, look at this.
There it is, the Tesla Optimus.
Optimus jobs. I just looked up Tesla Optimus. I got a bunch of jobs available. Deep learning manipulation engineer for Optimus.
Oh.
What's the pay, baby?
Scary.
What's the money you're offering? $140,000 to $360,000 annual salary plus cash and stock awards and benefits.
Nice.
That's not a bad deal.
Good.
That sounds like a great job. Because the best part about it is in 10 years, when we're living in a post-apocalyptic wasteland running for our lives from these machines, you're going to be like, I made them.
You made them. and you can get a side gig at Doge in the meantime. You're doing that. You go to Doge a little bit,
Better yet, you're going to be sitting around a fire with your scraggly beard, and you're going to be like, so you guys know how when you're running from the killbots, they can actually jump to the left and run across the wall to get over obstacles? I'm the one who programmed that. They'll be like, I hate you.
You did what?
You did what? Hey, we all made mistakes.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Everybody's a little bit guilty here. Everybody's made mistakes.
Yeah. And the one guy's like, I was an insurance salesman. Mm-hmm. It's like that Black Mirror episode where the dogs are chasing everybody.
I haven't seen that one.
Yo, that was a good episode. It was basically like Amazon automated and took over and kept trying to deliver general goods to people, but the robots were killing them for some reason. I don't know. The whole world was destroyed because the AI went full Amazon and just automated everything for package delivery. So humans are mostly dead, but still delivering packages for no reason.
That's a crazy episode.
It's pretty wild. It's
Yep.
deep learning manipulation engineer. That's crazy.
Tesla's on a path to build humanoid robots at a scale to automate repetitive and boring tasks. Core to the Optimus, the manipulation stack presents a unique opportunity to work on state-of-the-art algorithms for object manipulation, culminating in the... okay. They're talking about manipulation is moving objects and things like that.
Yeah.
So I'm buying a bunch of those exosuits.
For now.
I already ordered some exosuits.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
I try it on.
Sure. Yeah. It should be here in a week.
Let's go.
Very excited. Yeah, it says it increases your leg strength by 40%. Oh. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to break it instantly. I'm going to go on the scale. I'm going to go to a mini ramp and be like, let's see how high I can jump.
Oh,
It's
jeez.
going to shatter.
We'll
see what happens.
You'll be able to do the drop.
No, that's a skill issue.
Yeah.
The death drop. All right, everybody, smash the like button. Share the show with everyone you know. We're going to grab your super chants and rumble rants and have a good time with it. If you haven't already, you can go to castbrew.com and buy coffee. And go to timcastpremium.com to join Rumble Premium. When you go there, you'll be directed to use promo code TimCast10, which gets you $10 off your annual membership. This doesn't just give you access to Timcast Premium content. It gives you access to Steven Crowder's Mug Club as well and all of the other producers like Dr. Disrespect. So you're basically getting this big, massive library of content for the price of one. Our uncensored call-in show will be coming up in 20 minutes. It will be there at rumble.com/Timcast IRL. Don't miss it. In the meantime, let's grab your super chats. We got Josh McCluskey. Thanks to the customer service team, Rumble finally got logged in last week. Hey, glad to hear it. So anybody who was a member of Timcast.com before we launched with Rumble, if you use your email from Timcast on Rumble for just a regular account sign up, it's instantly premium free. For everybody else, they're separate services because Timcast.com is our Discord community. Over 20,000 people. I implore you all, don't just watch the show and walk away. Get involved, join the community, make friends, and we got a bunch of stuff planned. I think our first Culture War Live is going to be in 2 months. We have a plan for a venue. We have a plan for a debate. And you as members will join at the event. It's a members-only event. So it's not to be a member. If you want to get first come, first serve tickets, they're not going to cost anything. If you're a member, like obviously they cost something. But as members, you just RSVP. Then we're going to allow people to submit debate talking points on the subject where we will choose a handful of them to come up and join the debate with us. It's going to be fun. I'm sure it's going to be hilarious. And some people are going to have the stupidest arguments. And some people will get discovered for their intellect. Let's go. We got Max Riddick. He says, Tim, I know you don't do the booking, but I wanted to throw this one out there. Y'all should get Rob Knower back on. Well, okay. Let's see. We got Bitnertune says, howdy. Watching since 2020. Congrats to Tim and Allison. Please give a shout out to my Kickstarter, Zone Beta, a retro stealth game about liberty and reality. Very cool. Did you guys hear that Washington Post, Bezos says he wants the new Focus the Opinion page editorial to be personal freedoms and liberty?
Really good news.
They're so mad. They're like, no, freedom is racist.
Yeah, that is what they say.
Native Patriot says the remaining IRS offices should be converted to ERS offices. Yes. It would be huge for the American economy. What if Trump came out and just said, we're going to be getting rid of the Internal Revenue Service for the External Revenue Service. Income tax, it's gone. But for everybody else in the world, you'll pay income tax now to us. What if he just says, like, I don't care what country you're from, you have to give 20% of your income to America?
It might happen.
I don't think they'll like that. But
I certainly would not.
Probably going to happen.
ERS, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Let's grab some more super chats. American Trucker 84 says, please, Tim, please tell me you toast the Pop-Tarts in a toaster before you put butter on it. Of course. Of course.
That's how the butter melts. Silly.
I know. Silly questions. I think I did the strawberry Pop-Tart with butter on it. I think tomorrow I'll try the brown sugar cinnamon Pop-Tart with butter on it. It's got all the most disgusting chemicals in the world you can think of. TBHQ, whatever, tetrohexyl, whatever in it.
So good. Though.
RFK will,
So
will not like this.
Yeah, my deep fear is that I'm going to be grabbing a pack of Pop-Tarts and he's going to lurk out of the shadows and go, "What are you doing?" Ah, I'm sorry. What do we have? All right. Game Republic, just super chat. He says, my high school friend Clint Bonnell has been missing for over a month. Ooh. He is a Green Beret and disappeared from his backyard in Fayetteville, North Carolina without a trace. Someone out there knows something. Whoa.
Wow.
Ooh.
That's crazy, man.
Wild.
Well, I hope you find him. And Clint, if you're out there, your friends are looking for you. Raymond G. Stanley Jr. says, F yeah, Chuck is on. Let's go.
Thank you, Raymond.
You know, Chuck is an excellent interviewer for Green Room. He just asks the people to tell their stories and lets them roll with it, and it works out really well.
I just like hearing about other people, you know. It's always interesting to hear what you're coming from, because everybody's got different perspectives from all over the world and everything they do. So I find that always interesting to find out something about other people.
And we hired him because he super chatted.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah.
Wow.
He was super chatting, and then we were like, we got to hire somebody. And we're like, what about that guy who's super chatting? We're like, okay, we hired him.
All I did was say is Art Sucks Armenia, and then here I am.
Raymond G. Stanley Jr. too. I think people did, and
I
Phil
was,
too.
I was,
Wow.
but I was first. I was before Raymond.
And Phil super chatted.
Yep.
I guess the way you get hired at Timcast is you super chat the show and say, like, here's what I do. And then we go, oh, hey, look at this guy.
Basically bothered Tim while he's working.
Yep.
Yeah, otherwise I have no idea. Yeah, because people are always like, Tim, who does, I don't do booking. Lisa does booking. You know, it's like, I don't know. You got to talk to her. But then people on the show, you know, Chuck was super chatting. Yeah, it's funny. To be fair, though, Phil had been on the show, I think, a couple times already.
I've been on like 3 or 4 times, yeah.
Yeah. But then he super chatted.
We were already friendly.
Well, it was a bribe, you know. No, that's not the
Here's
case.
$5. Give
I'm
me
gonna
a
get in trouble
job.
now for that. Lucky Chariot says the IRS should be abolished. They engage in extortion, and for some reason, they don't have to tell you how much you owe.
Based.
Literally, no one else in the country could do that and get away with it. Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
Maybe I should run my business like that. Let's see how that works. We'll provide a service. We don't tell you how much it costs, but when you use it, we'll bill you. Or no, when you use it, you pay us.
And if you get it wrong, you're in trouble.
If you get it wrong.
If it's not enough, you owe us more. Yeah.
You get it wrong, we'll send agents.
How much do I owe you? I don't know.
We'll find out.
How much should I pay you? You figure it out. That's a great business model. Well, I guess the business model is that they show up to your house with guns if you don't do it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sounds
What,
like
what is it? What do you call that? A extortion racket?
sounds like the mafia.
Certainly. Hal Gailey says single, first 25K is untaxed, 10% flat tax married, first 50K is untaxed, 10% flat tax, untaxed amount goes up 5K for every kid. I think if you have 3 kids, you're tax exempt.
Doesn't Poland do that?
Yes.
It's two kids.
I think Hungary and like
Hungary and Poland every like 2.
I think more countries are starting to.
Yeah, your taxes go down.
Said that the other day.
I think they exempt if you have 2 kids.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Phil looks serious.
Uh-oh.
Well, little breaking news from CNN. It's not the biggest news, but
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
we got?
That's actually, I don't know. Supreme Court paused a midnight deadline for the Trump administration to pay $2 billion in frozen foreign aid.
yeah.
What?
There was
Yeah, so Trump said no foreign aid, then the lower court said you must pay it, and the Supreme Court says no, put a hold on that.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
we don't have to pay the foreign aid.
For now.
For now.
Yeah. And we shouldn't.
It's wild that a court would be able to tell the president who, handles that kind of stuff that he has to pay the court can tell the president
Yes.
that he has to pay the foreign aid.
Absolutely.
Yep.
That's the checks and balances. 3 co-equal branches. The issue arises when Trump, who's in control of the DOJ, says, I want the DOJ to go do this. Like when Trump says the executive power is vested in the president as per the Constitution, therefore all independent federal agencies must be supervised by me. And then all the Democrats are like, no, he's seizing power. And it's like, he had it from the beginning. But as it pertains to foreign spending that Congress allots,
Yes.
then the executive branch manages. The Supreme Court can intervene on behalf of litigating parties to determine whether or not Trump can.
Which court was it that actually put the initial
So,
finding that said they have to pay
New York?
spend the money because the situation is Trump said we're going to pause this foreign aid because it's related to the USAID stuff, right?
No, I don't think so.
Oh no, this is the okay, all right.
So the issue is anything Trump does can be challenged, and the Supreme Court can intervene and then say yes or no.
And they did in this case for Trump in a good way.
Yeah. The question is the Supreme Court doing the right thing? And when you have a liberal court, the answer is usually no. And when you have a conservative court, the answer is usually yes, which sometimes sucks, but sometimes is the right thing to do. So that's what Democrats can't seem to understand, is that they think the conservative-leaning justices are just like twirling their mustache, being like, we will turn the country into the Federalist Papers. When in actuality, the conservatives are like, I don't know or care about gay marriage. The Constitution doesn't say you can do this. So it's not an ideal. For them, it's ideological. From conservatives, it's functional.
Yep.
But if Trump does something and someone sues, the Supreme Court can say Trump can or cannot do that. And they could put an injunction on his actions. Usually a good court's going to be like, that is absolutely within the purview of the executive branch. We have nothing to do with this. And it has happened, actually.
And that's what the Supreme Court just said, essentially.
No, they just put a pause on it.
They just put a pause.
Which is, okay.
You know, they put a pause on the order stopping Trump. They're saying, Trump, keep doing your thing. We'll wait.
Wait,
we're going to figure this out until we figure this out.
Okay, till they rule out.
Like temporary.
I see.
Well, if they do, I don't know. All right, Madhoso says, I'm at the hospital with my wife. We're having a baby girl. This is our third. We have 2 boys. Welcome to the world, Cora Violet Ormerod.
Congratulations.
Oh, congratulations.
Congrats.
Big D says, tax service is $1 billion industry. They tax more. They get to tax you paying taxes. They don't want taxes to go away. All those payrolls, business, and even the payment upon doing it. The Fat Files did a video on it.
Yep.
People need to understand that a lot of industries that shouldn't exist for the purpose of economic drivers. So the reason why they don't want to get of it, as you pointed out, you shut down the tax industry, every tax office closes, everyone loses their job, and it's bad for the economy. Health industry, same thing. Why won't they overhaul the insurance industry and our healthcare system? It's 20% of our economy. It's not an issue of whether it's right or wrong. It's how many people are going to lose their jobs overnight, and will that destroy the American economy? They don't care about, nobody cares about the long-term plan. That's the problem. Or they don't know how to do it, at least. The AI will. The AI is going to be scary. I described it a few years ago like this. There's going to be a gig app called, Worker or something. It's not going to be an E in it. It's going to be WORKR. And you're going to be like, I need money. You're going to open up your app and it's going to say job available. And you're going to click it and say $50. And you go, all right, what do I do? And then it says, wait on the corner of 47th and Lexington for this man. And I'll show a picture of a guy. He will hand you this object and there'll be a strange mechanical object. And then it'll be like step 3. Carry the object to this address, and I'll show a picture of a building. And you'll go, okay. You'll stand in the corner, a guy will show up, and he'll be like, here you go. And you'll go, thanks. You'll walk to the place. There'll be another guy, and he'll be like, that's for me. And you'll go, here you go, thanks. And then the app's going to go, ka-ching, you got money. And you're going to be like, cool. You're going to have no idea what you're building, and it won't matter, because it is more efficient for the AI to offer up jobs than it is to find specialists. So think about it this way. There's a whole bunch of industries. One guy, he builds a mechanical device that needs to be delivered to his office, on the other side of town. And so he's like, all right, we're going to get a courier. So they call a courier service. The courier shows up on the bike. They say, here's the box. Get on your bike, drive it down here. Seems pretty simple. You know what's easier than that? A guy knocks on your door right when you're finished with the object, and you hand it to him without even calling anybody. That guy hands it to another guy who was already going in that direction to deliver a hot dog, hands it to another guy. The AI can see all of this in real time and offer this up rapidly. So it's like, you're not even going to know what your job is. They're going to be like, take this shovel and dig a hole right here. And you go, sure. And you're going to dig a hole and you're like, I'm done, $50. And you're going to leave. Then some other guy's going to walk up with a tree and put it in there. And he's going to be like, there you go. The future is coming, my friends.
Crazy.
All right, Ramtax says, many get more in refunds than they pay in taxes. No IRS would mean higher tax on lower incomes, though lost credits and benefits. This would piss people off. Not if we fix that and people aren't paying more than they're supposed to.
Refunds are bad.
Yeah, like giving the government free money and then just crossing your fingers you get it back is the stupidest thing ever. All right, Devin Porter says, Tim, I'm having an issue with my Timcast Rumble subscription. I had a short lapse in my card due to fraud issues. I've been a paying member of Timcast since 2022, but have now lost my Rumble premium. What can I do to fix this? I got to talk to, right, we knew this was an issue because we had a lot of members. This is a very common thing. People become members, and then if a card expires, they hit us up a few weeks later like, oh, crap, I need to update my card. So we need to fix that because there's a lot of people who should get it, and we want you to get it. I actually think it would be cool if we did like an amnesty where it's like if you re-sign up today only, then we'll include it. But it's not up to me. I got to talk to Rumble. Let me follow through. You should email the members. What is it? Members at timcast.com, right?
Yep.
with your issue, and then I'm going to talk to the people over at Rumble and see if we can figure that out. Obviously, for anybody who was an active member but their card lapsed or expired or something, that shouldn't impact it. They should be active, and that we just have to sort that one out. But I think it'd be really cool if we did like a sign back up and get amnesty kind of thing. Would be great. We'll see. Maybe we can't do it. BP says IRS closed offices in 2020 that never reopened and did away with phone support options. Mail only for some stuff. Your opinion on CFPB rule to cap bank overdraft fees at like $5 not yet in effect? I don't know what that is.
I'm okay with them capping the overdraft fees. Those are annoying. Not that it happens a lot, but when it does, you know.
All right. Michael, how do you pronounce this? Cicciarelli? Is that how you pronounce it? I don't know. He says, shout out to Mike in studio, and then did like 800 of these.
That's because I'm a paisan. You know, we got good paisans in the chat, okay? If you're a paisan, drop one of these in the chat. All right? Yeah, that's right.
Valkyrie Design says, Bondi says Epstein list tomorrow. The Oscars are on Sunday. Masterful timing.
Oh, that'll be
Oh,
interesting.
actually, I wonder if that's on purpose. It's Thursday. Tomorrow's Thursday.
Yeah.
Whoops.
You can't put breaking news out on a Friday.
Nope.
So if you want to get maximum impact for a weekend, Thursday is the PR day.
Tomorrow's show is going to be something.
Oh boy,
Spicy.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
man, I'm so excited.
Who's the biggest actor you think's on there?
What do you say? Is what?
Who's the biggest actor on the list you think's going to be on there?
I don't know,
That we don't already know?
That we don't already know, like the biggest surprise.
man. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't follow these people.
Good.
Everyone's got their guesses though. It'll be funny if it's like a big list of people that work in like a weird industry no one's ever heard of, like the professional horseback polo players or something. And it's like, wait, what? Epstein's clients were all just these guys? It's like, yeah, Tom Hanks, not there. Never went. Everybody was wrong. What do we have here? The Road Rage Langdon says, can we talk about the absolute win with Kash being both the FBI director and acting director of the ATF? Does this mean the FBI will dismantle the ATF and the NFA and taxation is theft?
It is theft.
The speculation with naming Kash as the ATF acting director is that they intend to shutter the ATF.
Yes. Let's go.
And it should.
So good.
Long
Like,
overdue.
I'm not saying get rid. Look, personally, the gun laws are all infringements. Outside of that, the ATF should be. This should be not controversial. The ATF is just an additional department for law enforcement that should easily operate under the FBI. There's no reason to have an extra department for this.
Fair.
It's a part of the FBI. What do I care? Stop wasting money. Eric F says, if you can create a virtual heaven, you can create a virtual hell. Demolition Man.
Oh.
Also true.
Yep. Yeah, but the thing is, with liberals, they'd never allow you to make a virtual hell prison. They'd be like, no, you have to give them everything they could ever want and more. And they would.
Question is, if you give people in a virtual scenario everything they want, would that be like a form of hell? Would it be like you have nothing to aspire to, nothing to desire, everything you've ever wanted is given to you? Like there's so many people that find joy in the experience, the whole, the journey is the important part. Getting there is the fun part. Like the process is where the process of learning is what's great. If everything is delivered all the time, whatever you want, what would that do to the human psychology?
So Real Hydro says, Tim, AI already won't make things because of IPs. It doesn't matter how good they can make things. It will have to be things not owned by others. Incorrect. For as many of you may be aware, I made an image using, I believe it was Grok, of Donald Trump caressing a pregnant Sonic the Hedgehog and posted it on X. I blame Seamus. But people make images of Mario, Mickey, and all of these characters using these AIs. They absolutely do. And it's considered transformative, fair use. Like if I could right now draw a cartoon of Mario boxing Pikachu, and it's fair use, I'm allowed to do it. And then I could literally say, Mario boxes Pikachu. It's transformative. I'm mocking something. Allowed to do it. That's why AI does this stuff. But let's just say companies get wary about it and there's lawsuits. I guarantee you, Disney is going to team up with whatever AI company and say, we should offer a $14.99 bundle addition to your bundle that gives you AI entertainment. So you'll get the full library of Disney content, which includes Hulu, Marvel, Star Wars, and you'll get AI movie generator for an extra $15 a month. And then you're going to sit there and you're going to be like, I want to see Darth Vader, a movie just about Darth Vader, like just tearing things up. And
Like the end of Rogue One, which is the whole movie.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. And people will do it. And then, like I said, it's going to get likes. So they're going to share it with their friends. They're going to be like, hey, watch this movie I generated. It turned out to be pretty good. Some of it will be bad. I bet most of it will be pretty okay. Suno, S-U-N-O, music AI.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
The instrumental music generation is perfect.
Yes.
The lyrics and the vocal melodies are the worst thing I've ever heard in my life. I was talking to my brother about it. He was like, yo, this AI is really good. Listen. And then it's like, if you ask the AI to sing and write lyrics, it is kindergarten level rhyming. And it's singing about city streets and city lights and nothing else. Yeah. Like every song is called Neon Lights, City Streets, or whatever. So you can write the lyrics yourself. The problem is the melodies always suck. But if you just make the underlying music, which is very basic, and then you can get someone who knows how to write melodies, then you're cranking out some bangers. The future is here already for music. Like, I'm sorry, music's done. Phil, I'm sorry. You're out of work. I'm going to go on Suno right now, and I'm going to say, give me a new All That Remains album. And it'll do it. And then I'll go through 100 songs, pick 10 that are good, and then that's it.
Drag.
Wow.
But Zachary Levi was talking about this. Hollywood's over. Like, these people are fighting for an industry that nobody watches the award shows anymore. Movies have been bombing. As of lately, Disney lost $1 billion, and AI is going to come in and replace everybody. The first movies I think we'll see before they get to the self-user-generated AI movies, you are going to have Disney in a studio. Instead of hiring animators, they're going to get like 5 guys to sit around putting in prompts to an AI and then refining it over and over again to make the movies. And they're going to be able to get a Spider-Man movie done in a month. Just like from start to finish. There we go, baby. All right, we'll grab one more here. Darren Defner says, you guys stumbled on a genius idea. Convicted prisoners can opt to be connected to a normal life Neuralink, get a degree, trained in virtual world, then leave prison as an electrical engineer or even a rocket scientist. The issue with a lot of criminals, however, is not that they can't do it. It's that they have violent tendencies or... Like, no one makes a person be a criminal. And the left seems to think that it's like that crime is driven by people who are just desperate. Like AOC was like, oh, these looters need bread. And it's like, bro, they're stealing like Louis Vuitton bags. There are people in Chicago that commit crimes because it's part of a culture of going hard. They call it, quote, coming up and things like that. We'll see. My friends, smash the like button if you would please. Share the show with everyone you know. We're going to that uncensored call-in show at rumble.com/Timcast IRL right now for premium users, where you as members of the Timcast Discord can call and talk to us. It's going to be fun. You can follow me on X and Instagram at Timcast. Again, smash that like button. Mike, do you want to shout anything out?
Appreciate you having me on, Tim. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate all the paisans in the chat. And you guys can follow me on X at Mike Crispi, on Instagram at Mike Crispi NJ. Thanks, everybody.
Well, thanks, Mike, for joining. That was a lot of fun. Wasn't expecting that. Follow the Green Room on Rumble Premium and buy Cash Brew Coffee. You know, members get 15% off if you're a Timcast member on our website. And yeah, thanks.
What's your X?
Oh, my X is Frank Trueblue.
Ah.
I'm essentially, yeah, it's a American Dad joke.
Ah.
Yeah.
I am Phil That Remains on X. You can subscribe to my page there. I'm Phil That Remains Official on Instagram. The band is All That Remains. Our new record just dropped January 31st. It's called Anti-Fragile. You can check it out on YouTube, Apple Music, Amazon Music, Spotify, Pandora, and Deezer. Don't forget the left lane is for crime.
We'll see you all over at rumble.com/Timcast IRL in about 30 seconds. Thanks for hanging out.